All right, I'm here, but give me just a minute because I'm gonna go tell my 6-year-old to stop yelling at his Xbox game. I already went and told him that I was going live and not to be so loud, but apparently from the time I walked in here from in there, he forgot. So I'm gonna go tell him to stop screaming, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I also had to. My 16-year-old is outside working on a carburetor or something, so I had to go tell him not to come in yelling either because they're loud all the time. So, anyways, I just wanted to do a little story time because it's really a wild story from what started it to what is happening currently. It's crazy, and so I wasn't sure about. Hey, Christine. Hey, Kennergy. Um, I just kind of wanted to talk about something that obviously is not involving any kind of drama or anything, and it's a pretty crazy story. And so, um, I'm going to start by explaining like the charges and then everything that has happened from then until now because it's been uh 12 years since it started. So, um, the situation started on March 28th, 2012, which was actually his 19th birthday. He went into the Walgreens down on the corner of the street he lived on and stole a 25-ounce beer on his 19th birthday. So obviously here in Texas, the legal age to drink is 21. So obviously he wasn't old enough to buy the beer, so or probably didn't have the money to get someone else to go buy the beer. So he just decided to go steal a beer for his birthday. So in doing that, he got up to the door of the Walgreens, and I guess they knew that he had the beer or whatever the situation, and they tried to stop him, and he, I guess, punched them, pushed them, assaulted them in some way. So that made it robbery instead of theft. So, um, at 19 years old, he was charged with robbery over a less than $5 situation. Um, so he went to jail, and obviously you saw the judge was bonded out, all of that. Then he went to court and found out what they were offering for the charge, and they were wanting to give him 10 years in prison with like boot camp. It was 6 months, I believe it was 6 months boot camp, but he still went to like a uh, Texas Department of Corrections boot camp, so it was still a prison boot camp. So he did not want to do any time. He at this point didn't really. I think he maybe had been in trouble a little. Maybe I think he had an evading arrest before that I saw. Um, so he hadn't really had any charges before that. So he didn't want to, I mean, obviously at 19 years old, obviously made a really stupid mistake and didn't expect to have to do any prison time. But 10 years, with 6 months in the boot, like he was going to be going to prison either way. And honestly, probably would have done more in doing that, done more time in the 6 months in the boot camp, because he probably could have gotten out on parole in a shorter time frame, the way that it works here in Texas, depending on everything, obviously. But I've seen people get out pretty quickly as soon as they got to whatever prison they were going to, like, and made their first parole. So anyways, so when he found out what they were offering, he decided to go on the run in around August or September of 2012. So instead of signing for any time or going to court or doing anything, he moved to Louisiana. So, and then February 2013, he was arrested in Louisiana, out of state, on the run for the charges here in Texas. So then he obviously at that point had to go to court and had to sign for the 10 years with the 6 years boot camp. 6 years, 6 months boot camp. He did 6 months in the boot camp. And then in towards the end of 2013, he got out and was on probation. So he had been on probation for about 2.5, 3 years, and he had been working. He had been paying all his probation fees. He had a baby that was maybe, I feel like 3 to 6 months old. He had a daughter, and so he was doing everything he was supposed to be doing. And then one night he was hanging out with some of his friends, and they were outside of apartments drinking, and the cops came, and like everybody ran, or I mean, I don't know if everybody ran, but some people ran. Some people got away, some people didn't. He did not. He ran but did not get away. So then was charged with evading and public intoxication. So that meant he violated his probation. So he bonded out on the evading and public intoxication the same day. So the violation of probation didn't happen instantly, obviously. So he was able to get out the same day, and then decided he didn't want to face the consequences for the violation of probation, which I still to this day say, I don't think he would have ever left county. I think they would have reinstated his probation, because it had been 2.5, 3 years, and he had been doing, this was his first time getting in trouble. And it was really minor. It was public intoxication. I mean, it was misdemeanors, public intoxication and evading. So but he didn't listen. He freaked out and thought that they were going to send him back to prison, and decided to move to California. So from 2000, so this was 2016. So 2016 to around 2021, maybe 2022, possibly. I don't remember exactly when he came back, because it was not public knowledge that he was back in Texas, obviously, because we'll get to all that in a minute, but people being able to, turn him in. So it wasn't really public knowledge for a while that he was back in Texas. So, which thankfully he came back when, whenever, I was watching for you, but I didn't know if it would just like show me that you were waiting, because I've never had anyone up here with me. So I am going to be having someone up here with me, since everybody swears that Mindy's cult survivor is me. We're going to show that this isn't. So she's just going to hop up here with me, and we're going to talk about, I've told her a little bit about what happened the other day, but I haven't really went into a lot of the backstory or what has happened since then, because the current situation is a little bit crazy as well, and the new charges. So, oh, there you are. Okay, hold on.
Well, hello.
Oh my gosh, we're not the same person.
I don't want you to, talk to yourself.
Yeah. Well, I since I don't have my camera on, because it doesn't matter what I say, do look like someone's gonna have something to say. I just didn't feel like this was kind of last minute, so I didn't feel like worrying about what I looked like and everybody deciding to take screenshots and do all these things and screen record and go and talk about this or that, or oh my god, she did this or that. So I wasn't going to worry that much about turning my camera on. So I could be over here texting myself and commenting on my own things. I have seen other people do that before. So.
Well, since I'm so many people,
yeah,
let them wonder. But as long as we can prove that you're not you arguing and talking to yourself.
But you're also obviously not Shannon / Diamond Eye / whoever, which I've seen that one too, that you're her in several places.
Yes.
You're just you, and nobody has to know who that is.
Like, leave some hate for the rest of us. Come on now.
Yeah, seriously. Anyway, so I guess I was I think I had told you about him moving to California, right? When he was on the run.
Me?
Yes.
Yes.
Did I tell you about that part of it? Well, because I know I had told you part of the story, but I didn't really tell you a lot of it, so I wasn't sure what part I told. Okay, so that's kind of where I'm at. I haven't gotten to what happened the other day because I haven't even told you about the situation. It's really crazy. So, from about 2016 to like 2021, 2022, he was in California. Well, so thankfully he came back around the time frame that he did because so this is my ex-husband's little brother. There was 4 of them, and their older brother passed away in November 2022. And then their older sister passed away September 2023. And then my ex-husband is in prison and probably will be till 2027, I think, was his projected release date. And then now the youngest, Presley, is the one that just went to jail. So their mom has had a stroke, and she's like basically the only 2 kids left are in jail, and this was the baby of all of them. And so it's been crazy. So thankfully, though, he came back when he did because he was able to see his brother and sister before they passed away. So like my ex-husband hasn't seen them since he went to jail in 2019, 20. It's been a few years. He has a 7-year sentence. So he hadn't seen his brother or sister at all in that time frame. And so at least Presley had come back in time to see, to be able to be around his brother and sister before they both did pass away. And so now I just worry about if he just got new charges, which I haven't got to that part yet. But if he's going to be gone for a while, then it just, I feel really bad. Like, their mom has already lost 2 kids and then has the other 2 left are basically in prison. They're going to be.
Does he have any support or anyone to put money on his books or anything?
So his nephew. Okay, so his nephew is who he was with the night they were leaving the store. And so, but it was about 1 o'clock in the morning. And so when they were leaving the store, they got pulled over for like the headlight or something stupid. And so he immediately wanted to run and maybe would have, not that he doesn't need to obviously get this over with, but Cameron, which is his nephew, which is his sister that passed away in September of last year. This is her son. So her older son, Cody, actually passed away a couple years before both. It's been a lot of loss in their family. And so now, that's why I was saying, I think he came back after Cody had passed away. So he hadn't seen Cody in years. And then he was almost 21, I believe, and got in a car accident and passed away. And then, yeah, it's been a lot of loss in their family. Anyway, so then I'm trying to think. Oh, yeah, so he came back around 2021, 2022, and has pretty much just stayed under the radar. He can't work, he can't do anything, or they'll be able to find him. So he's not on social media. I think he's on Snapchat maybe, and if anything he is on, he's not like logged in or like under himself. He's not on anything as himself. And so he doesn't look like the same person at all. Like, I'm going to show some of his stuff in a minute, but I haven't been able to find the most recent mugshot, which I'm really curious to see because I was told he got beat up by the cop, which I'll get to that in a minute. But anyway, so from at least the last 2 years, he has been back in Texas and not gotten any trouble and not got caught up, or like nothing has happened. He's just pretty much, which means he's been having to, stay with his mom and wherever because he can't work or do anything. I mean, which you still really could, but
and they just gave up looking for him, or was
he's like another kid? Okay, so yes and no. It's crazy that he was ever even on like the most wanted. That's the thing. Okay, so I'm gonna share that and pull that up real quick. He was on Gregg County's 28 most wanted or something like that since 2016, and it's for literally all this over stealing a beer, a single beer at that, not even like a fucking 12-pack or nothing, a single beer. Okay, there it is. Let me share the screen. Okay. I gotta find it. Most of these say captured. That's what I was saying earlier to my boyfriend. I was like, how long do they leave you on there with the captured? I guess they want to be able to brag about that. So it doesn't even show his as captured yet. And so yeah, it's crazy to me that he's even on here for that. Like, it sounds like I just don't know. I guess that's just maybe if somebody hasn't been able to be captured in like a quick amount of time, they add them to. I just don't know what qualifies you to be added to that.
How long has it been since you guys seen him?
Not very long, because he's with so the girl that did the tattoos that I had recently, she is Cameron's girlfriend, baby mama girlfriend. And so he's obviously like basically I feel like a third. I mean, even though he's older than Cameron, it's funny. He's older than Cameron, but he's like a third kid to them right now, because like I said, he doesn't work or do anything. So they have 2 kids, and I always say that he's like their third kid. So so I've seen them. They go ride 4-wheelers and stuff all the time with like my kid and my boyfriend and like whatever. But they were actually supposed to go ride this past weekend. So, and then this all happened. So they obviously never ended up going. So anyways, they were leaving the store on Friday night, Saturday morning, and got pulled over, and his first instinct was to run, and Cameron said, no, it's fine. Like, they'll just ask for my information. They're not even going to ask anything about you, like, blah, blah. And so it was a state trooper, and I guess they did ask for his name. And so I guess he gave them a fake name. I don't even think it was the name of someone he knew. I think he just said a name. And I think it was like Mark West or something random. And so then I guess they weren't satisfied by that, because they probably tried to run it and didn't find anything. So then I guess they separate them, and however, I don't really know, because I obviously wasn't there, and I've heard one thing and then it's been switched to another. So I don't know. There's a lot of miscommunication about like everything that actually happened. So however, they found out who he really was. And then at that point, I guess he tried to run, and they obviously weren't going to let him. And I don't know what exactly happened, obviously not being there, but he now has charges for assaulting a police officer. And I don't know if he pushed, punched, hit, tried to shove to get away. I don't know. I mean, he says he didn't hit them, so he's wanting to try to get like the body cam footage. I don't know.
That could be the most minor. Like if you move away from them, they can claim whatever they want.
Yes. Well, but then they like beat his ass afterwards. And so I'm waiting to see the mugshot to see what it's actually going to look like. Hey. Sorry, I've just noticed the chat because I'm like on, I'm sharing the screen, so I'm over on the thing, like where it shows the thing. And then, so I didn't realize that anybody had came in. So, yeah, I don't know if I've ever given, if I was going to give a fake name, I would give somebody's name, like somebody that I knew that didn't have like warrants or, you know what I'm saying? I would give them, even if I didn't look exactly, I mean, I don't know. Like pictures can be like, you can change, you know, it just depends. I don't know, but I'm definitely not going to make up one and then just like, because then there's nothing to even like, they can tell that's not a real person, you know? Like,
Yeah. At least a
so,
name and a birthday.
yeah, seriously, I'm going to at least have to know my name and birthday and they're going to have to match. And I'm gonna have to maybe look like I could pass as that person. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yep.
something. So, anyways, yeah. So he apparently they hit him in the face a bunch of times, and I don't know. I haven't seen. So the whatever's going on in the world right now with, I guess it has to do with like Microsoft or something. Is that like some virus protection that Microsoft uses, or I don't really know because I've tried to find out and I really am confused. I just know there's a lot of people that are having problems with like their computers and their systems and all of that. And it's been like for the like since like the weekend, like all weekend.
Seems like they'd have it fixed by now. Like I know, was it
Well,
Xbox or something was down? Like they had everything down a couple days
yeah.
ago.
And I think some of them have been back and forth. And I mean, my kids have been playing on Xbox and all that since then. But it's like with the jail, it's like I'll get it to pull the website up, but then don't have him booked in yet. So it's like, and that this has been since Saturday morning, basically. And so it doesn't show anything yet. But that is what he's there for. And you know, they have been able to talk to them on the phone, and they almost had him bonded out, which is what's crazy. But so I have expected, and until I see the charges, I don't know. But I expect that they're going to charge him with giving a false name, not identifying himself, resisting arrest, evading arrest, assaulting him. I feel like they're probably going to give him every single thing that they can because obviously they were really pissed off enough that they like beat his ass, supposedly. Like
How
I
much?
said,
Do
until
you
I
know how much
see
his
that.
bond was?
I don't because I don't know. I mean, I know that they paid certain amount towards it because I guess it was okay. So that's the thing too. Is like I didn't really understand that either because I kept saying, "Oh no, I mean, y'all aren't gonna be able to bond him out. Y'all aren't gonna be able to bond him out because these are two different counties now. He should have a hold on him for Gregg County, but then this is a different county that he was arrested in, and so
Seems like 8 years on the run, he might be a flight risk too.
yes. Okay. We'll see. And so the only things he really has is evading, and he's already been caught in another state once. So when he did run, when they were gonna, you know, try to get him to take the plea deal or whatever, and for the 10 years and the 6 months boot camp or whatever it was, and he took off because he didn't want to do any time. And so then, and it was like probably less than 6 months that time, and they caught him in Louisiana and then brought him back here to do all of it. And so, yeah. So I guess he saw a judge, and so it was crazy because I kept saying, I swear that sometimes you still see a judge on the weekend. I don't remember. I feel like it really is just if they come in or don't on the weekend. Like sometimes you have to wait till Monday, and sometimes I feel like they come in and do like the arraignment and set your bond or whatever. And so they did, I guess, at some point, maybe Sunday, he saw the judge and they set his bond. And then they went and had a bondsman go up there to get him out. Okay, so this is where the story gets interesting. Okay, so they had a bondsman go up there to get him out, and because the computers are all down or whatever, like they're having to do everything kind of like by paper. Like the bondsman had to bring a money order. Like yeah, and so I'm like, it's crazy because like obviously I haven't been able to look up what his charges are. There's no mugshots like yet, like none of that. And so because I'm like, it's crazy. I wanted to be able to compare them. I'm gonna actually look real quick and see if it'll let me pull it up yet. Because I wanted to actually, because he doesn't even like look like the same person, so that probably has benefited him and not really being caught. But he also doesn't. Well, I don't know. For a while, he was around the same area when he was like staying with his brother and his sister before they passed away and all that. He was like around the same area where he did. Look, I'm gonna look and see if it's just crazy because I've tried for days to get this website. It'll pull up the website every now and then, let you search, but Yeah, now it just keeps saying it'll keep trying to reload it.
Seems like with
Um,
technology, they'd have some kind of backup system, like some.
Yeah. Well, it says something about it says checking the proxy and firewall, but so it'll do this for a while and it'll be like it's trying to just keep reloading, but it'll say that it says the site can't be reached or whatever. And then like later tonight, like if I check again for some reason, it'll like the site will work and it'll let me search. But obviously, because it hasn't stayed working long enough, they probably haven't been able to get all these people entered into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
oh yeah, they
so
probably got a
it just
backlog.
yeah, so it just still doesn't show his information at all. But anyway, so his cousin's husband is one of the higher ups in the counties that he's in and stopped him from getting bonded out because they did not have the Gregg County hold on because I guess everything being down or whatever, all they had were the charges he just came in on. They didn't have it put in for the hold or whatever yet, I guess because everything's not not doing what it's supposed to do. So they were trying to hurry up and get him out while like basically under a technicality and they didn't catch on, and so and it was going to work and I'm over here going it's not going to work like because that's how you don't usually it doesn't work like that. You're not just going to go get bonded out like in that type of situation. Like you're going to have to deal with he's probably going to now have to deal with this before he can even go deal with the probation violation in Gregg County. So now he has all these charges to deal with, and then before he can ever even go deal with the probation. And so what's crazy is that these charges now, especially the assault on a police officer, if that sticks, if there's no proof or nothing, if he can't, whatever, he now that's going to be way worse than this robbery, which basically, so it's crazy. I know it's different in every state. So the fact that it made it from theft to robbery is basically like making it like an aggravated charge because there was violence involved in the theft because he hit them or whatever. And so it's crazy that it went from theft to robbery just because they consider that like a violent act or whatever. Because
And where did he steal the beer from?
A Walgreens.
A gas station? Oh, well, yeah, that's right. I was thinking a gas station for some reason.
Yeah. Well, it was a Walgreens. So you know how they have like the things at the door and all of that. Like, so I guess they tried to stop him like at the little beeper things at the door. They like tried to, but I really don't think too that they can like grab you. I mean, not that like excuses whatever, but they're supposed to just like call the police and if you give them the information. I don't think that they're supposed to physically. I don't know. I'm sure that's different in every state and all that too. So that's really hard to speak on. And I'm sure that I don't know how that works, but I really didn't think that they were supposed to physically restrain you.
A lot of stores now, they have those like big tower things that will record your license plate when you leave, and they can come to your house after you leave if they suspect you did anything at the store.
Yeah, that's so crazy. I mean, it's smart though. Like, people can't get away with stuff as easily. I really don't think that they're allowed to grab him. But so they grabbed him, and then so obviously he reacted to being grabbed by, I don't know if he pushed, swung, I don't know what happened, but that's I mean, obviously I feel like most people's reaction to being grabbed, no matter if it's your fault or not, I feel like it's probably going to be like, get off of me. Like, I don't know. And so I don't know. But obviously he just had like a court appointed attorney, and he was only 19 and 20 years old during this time, from the time that he got, because it was on his 19th birthday. I didn't even remember that until I started going back and trying to look at like the details of it, because it's just like so crazy. So now the fact that, and it's so crazy because so his sister just passed away in September, right? Well, so his sister and the cousin that I'm talking about were really, really close, like sisters, like really close. And so the fact that her husband is the one that intentionally made sure he didn't get out, like, that's crazy. Do you think that your cousin that you were like sisters with would be happy with you doing that to her brother? Like, you really think that that's not that he doesn't need to go deal with all this, and he would not have gone to court. He would not. I'm just saying, I understand, but it's just crazy the way
Why
that
didn't they want him out?
Because they're assholes.
No.
Because they're assholes. Like, literally, that's it. Because she even tried to make threats about because he was on the run. His sister was in ICU on like life support, and she had made a comment to me. The cousin had made a comment to me about him being up there with his sister, knowing he's on the run. You know what I mean? Knowing he's had this stuff, but following him around this long or whatever, and her husband coming up there with her and staying in the car because he doesn't want to be in that situation that he's around him, knowing he's wanted and whatever. So she's made comments before about it, like, oh, he could just arrest her. I don't know. It's just, yeah. They think it's cute and funny, and I mean, it's not. He literally has not eaten since, like, I feel like he's one of those, that he's like, okay, so he's 31. He's 31 now. And I was trying to think. He's 31 now, and I feel like he's one of those man childs, like men child that throws a fit about everything. And I swear from the time that I met him to now, I don't think he's changed at all. And he was probably like 10, 11, 12 years old when I met him.
And he's the youngest, right?
Yes. And he's the youngest. Yeah. And so he's really picky. He don't eat like nothing. And like, he was saying something about, I guess, to them, because he's been calling a lot. And he's been calling Cameron, and then Cameron will call with them on the phone, and then because they've been all trying to figure out what to do and to get him out, and should they hire an attorney, or should they pay the bond, or whatever. Because if they would have went ahead and paid the bond here, then he could have went ahead and got moved over there and dealt with that instead of having to wait, not knowing, because that's been the big thing, is he's thought this whole time that that they're gonna send him back to do like the whole 10 years. And I just keep trying to explain, like, when you got in trouble, when you got in trouble again, you had not been in trouble, and it was over something so minor. Like, he was hanging out with, like, my boyfriend was there, and he actually ran and got away. This was the last time he had been in trouble, and thankfully he did get away because he was on parole at that time, and he successfully got off parole and has never been in trouble since then. Like, he got in trouble at 17 years old and was charged as an adult. So he went and handled his business and has not been in trouble since then. Like, he has lived a normal life since then. But the one time they were like hanging out, drinking and whatever, and the cops come, and instead of trying to, be responsible and handle it, they take off running. Well, he hopped the fence and was gone, and he, I guess, couldn't get over the fence. I don't know. I don't know. So he didn't, and then, yeah, it was a situation, but it wasn't even like a thing. I mean, they weren't doing anything wrong necessarily. So,
Adulting.
I was trying to read. Hi, Megan. Hi, it's Melissa, right? Miss Melissa. That confuses me. So Melissa and Megan. I got that.
I don't even see the chat. I had my other phone out to see it.
Yeah. Well, I'm still over on some other page on StreamYard, so I'm not even in the thing. Anyway, so now, not knowing, I don't even know what the charges are right now that he's in there for. I don't know anything about anything. It's just crazy. I went and looked up. It's funny. I went and looked up all the paperwork and whatever, like all the all the arrests and all the stuff to get like the dates to talk about it, because I couldn't really remember. And so that's when I realized it was on his 19th birthday, and I was like, holy shit, what a way to spend your birthday. I know you talked to me. I knew you talked to me in Reddit. I just I dropped something. There's you, and then there's someone else that has a name sort of like yours, that I feel like I get confused sometimes, but I remembered which one was which. I just, maybe her name's not Melissa, it's something else. But yeah, we're all Reddit rats. Yes. And you know what's funny about that is I really don't even comment. I don't really ever post. I don't think I ever post anything. I comment every now and then from time to time, and I really don't even like get on a lot. I don't get I get notifications for places I'm not even in, but I don't get notifications on the ones I am in, or like messages or anything like that. It's really freaking weird. So
that's when I woke up.
Chooses what it sends you.
Woke up this morning, like fell asleep last night, and woke up today to everything going on.
Yes, I'm just gonna sit back with some popcorn and see how all of it turns out. Because I feel like it's just a TV show at this point, and we're all just like watching it. And every now and then, I feel like we get like thrown on it. Like someone will get thrown on it, like it's a reality show. You know, like someone will get like punked or something. They just get brought in out of nowhere.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel like that's what happened with me. I was never trying to be. I was never trying to be like vocal or like out there. I was trying to be more behind the scenes. And so the
I
fact
think
that everybody started trying to act like I was trying to get attention is crazy because that is not me at all. I get so nervous. Every time I schedule a live, for one thing, my family is like always, I have no space to go to do anything that's not right in the middle of everyone. And so obviously I have 4 kids still at home and they're all loud and all over the place. 2 are not here right now. It's the only reason it's not that loud. One is sitting over here, and he's old enough that he thinks he's involved in everything and likes to go comment on people's stuff and whatever. And I keep having to get on his ass when I see him somewhere he does not belong. And then my 6-year-old's in there playing his Xbox. My 4-year-old is with my mom. He thinks he's spending the night, but he never actually spends the night. And
oh, I
then
remember those days.
and then my 14-year-old has been at his friends for a few days, and then he was asking if we don't let a lot of their friends like come over because there's so many of them. It's already too much, and so it's like, especially because then it's not really that fair when like one of them will have some whatever. So usually they go places, and not a lot of other kids come here. So, but the one that he's asking, I let him come sometimes, and I was like, yeah, maybe the day after tomorrow when I actually like do grocery shopping because I'm not gonna do that just for a day when that was when I was already doing it. Yeah, look, so Melissa's kids are like literally around the same ages as mine. That she's got a couple that are off, but she only has 4 boys, but her oldest is 19, right? I believe. And then 6, 4, and 2. So she started all the way over like I did, but she really started all the way over. My youngest is starting school this year, so I feel like I started all the way over, but I'm on like I don't know. I'm really nervous about it. I don't think he's going to do so well with going to school the first day. He's excited right now, but I think me leaving is going to be.
He'll
I think
either
it's gonna
love
be
it
harder
or hate it, or he'll probably hate it at first, but then love it.
Well, because he was born in 2020. Yes, I have a really good memory. That's one thing. My mom was telling me the other day something about numbers, about her short-term memory is not that good. And I was like, yeah, my short-term memory isn't either, but unless it's numbers. Like I can, for some reason, I have like a photographic memory when it comes to like numbers for some
So
reason.
do I.
Like I can
So
tell you
do
people
I.
like birthdays and stuff that I like don't know how I remember it. And like it'll be people I haven't seen or talked to since I was like 12 years old or something. And I still like know their
I
birthday.
remember I remember my friends' phone numbers from like middle school.
Yeah. Yeah. I do too. I remember my phone number from like my childhood because like when you saw like the phone, I feel like our phone was like in the hallway, and like eventually I think it had a long cord and we could take it places, but I feel like for a while it wasn't, and we would like just have to sit there in the hallway on the phone, which is so
Yep.
weird to think about. Kids have no idea
I just
to have
explained
your
to my
phone attached
nephew
to the
recently
wall.
what a I explained to my nephew recently what a VCR was. I felt so old.
Yeah, yeah. That is so crazy. They don't even know. They don't understand any of that. Like having a phone in the wall or a VCR that you have to rewind it to rewatch the movie again. Like
Yep.
that's so crazy. Kids just like they have it so easy now. They walk around with their phone in their hand and have privacy. We used to just have to sit there for everyone to listen to us. Like right there in the
Yep.
middle of everything.
Having to wait for the cordless phone to charge.
She said, please be kind and rewind.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Wait, make pots of rice with all the leftover veggies and meat. Oh, don't. I didn't. I meant to say hi. Shriner family. She retracted her message, but I meant to say hi to her a while ago, and then I started talking and got distracted. But if you're still in here, hello, and I'm sorry that I didn't say hello. I feel like I'm really bad about that. And then people are like, she didn't say hi to me, and I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm just really weird and awkward, and don't ever like know the right thing to say. So sometimes I just say nothing. Sorry. I wasn't. I promise I wasn't ignoring you. I acknowledged it in my head. I feel like people. I feel like people read that like they read my brain and they don't. That's like I feel like people read my facial expressions sometimes, and it's not what I think it is. Like it's not. I'm not smiling. I feel like I'm smiling, and I'm not smiling.
Or when you send a text and it like you can't see the emotion or like the tone in it and it comes off the wrong way.
Yes, I feel like I do that a lot because I feel like I try to explain it in a way that people don't take it. I feel like that happens to me a lot. And then I'm like, wait, did they understand what I was trying to say? Or they probably totally misunderstood that.
Just very remedial.
When does school start back for everyone? Because we start back, I feel like earlier than like everyone so far that I have asked.
You're way early. You're like a month earlier than us. I think
So I
we're
wonder, does that mean we get
September.
out earlier?
I think September 3rd for us.
Yeah. See, so my 6-year-old's birthday is September 5th. So I was so mad that he had to like wait to start school because the cutoff is September 1st. And I don't know if that's everywhere or what, but
Yep, that's
from what
everywhere.
I was about to say, from what I have read and whatever, it's just like everywhere. But he was so smart. And so I felt like it was like not a good thing for him to have to wait. You get what I mean? Like, I feel like he would be like further ahead and it would be, I don't know, almost be like
You
bored
can
by stuff that he's already like knows.
you can have it after he starts, you can have him tested and they can place him in a higher grade if his testing's good enough.
Because he's going to first grade and he'll be turning 7 like 3 weeks after school starts. So it's like he's like literally always going to be the oldest one in class because he yeah. So we get out though right around Memorial Day every year. So I feel like I don't know if it changes, but maybe it changes too because we only go Monday through Thursday now, and which I really love having the 3-day weekend. It really I feel like makes such a huge difference for us, like and then doctor's appointments and stuff like the kids like we can do on the week like on Friday instead of during the week so they don't have to miss school. Like I'm so happy they switched it to that because we had half Wednesdays for like two
Yeah, we
years
have
after COVID, and we don't live in the town where my kids go to school, so it was like um oh she said property taxes. She said mine went up $200 a month. August 10th. Oh, and you're in Florida, so August 10th in Florida. Um, we start on so it's so stupid. We start on August 8th, which is a Thursday, and then they're out Friday. So I was like, I guess they're just like dipping their toe in the water to like get them back on a. Which honestly, I think it's perfect. Great idea. Like try to get them back on a schedule when they probably are going to be so tired that day, that first day.
Did you guys get a lot of like snow day penalties too?
um, No, I feel like we had weird situations that they kept like they missed the last couple of days of school because of like electricity because of the weather or something. Like something had knocked all the electricity out, and so like several of the buildings didn't have electricity or only had like half their air conditioning or whatever. So like the last couple of days of school. So one of my 16 my kid going into the oh my god it's so crazy the 11th grade is he was gonna fail English 2 by like because literally just from not trying. But anyways, but because they weren't able to take their finals, they I guess I had to give him all like hundreds on it or something. So he passed literally because of like a technicality, and they couldn't take their test. So he was going to be like half a credit short and have to probably take half a semester of like English 2 again or something. I don't know how all that works. I'm pretty sure that's how it works though.
That's lucky.
So yeah, he very much got lucky. But I can't believe it's so funny because my 16-year-old is way smaller. I'm not sure. It's way smaller than my 14-year-old. So everybody thinks that they are the opposite if they don't know. And so they haven't been in school together since they were in second and fourth grade. And so they'll be in high school together this year, and one will be in ninth grade, and the other one will be in 11th grade. And I was like, "Are y'all gonna pretend like y'all don't know each other when y'all see each other at school?"
Probably.
So I was like, "Yeah, that's so funny." Okay, I'm gonna find a picture real quick. Actually, I just saw one earlier. Where was that at? Because it's really funny that they are so. But okay, so I'm 5 foot, and their dad is 6'4". So they could like literally all three of them I knew could go either way. Like never know. And it's so funny that the 14-year-old is tall and the 16-year-old is short. I'm trying to find a picture. Where are those pictures? I see a picture from when we went to the concert, but like I don't know why it's not showing me all of them. I was trying to find one of them standing by each other so you could see it. I got 2 out of 4 backpacks already. I mean, I bought all 4, but I got to receive 2. The third one's supposed to come today. Fourth one's supposed to come tomorrow. And then the main things I worry about when they start school are like shoes and backpacks. I feel like that's like, and then I go through like whatever clothes they have to see whatever, obviously buy them a couple of outfits for the first few days and whatever they need. Like, I feel like, a couple of them need more clothes than the others because.
Well, and it's so expensive at that age too. Like, oh my gosh, I do.
Well, yeah, for a while it's easy because you can just like pass it down, but then once they get older, they won't wear each other's stuff, or that's not their style, or they don't like that. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time finding this, because everything I'm finding, like it's like they're sitting down or something. Like I'm trying to find one and it's standing up. Look, here's a picture, and this is not that. They're not standing up. Okay. Did I like took it down? Anyways, I took this the last time we went to ride 4-wheelers, but oh my gosh. Okay. Oh, stop. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out, like, all this is so new to me. Like with the I've never had someone else up here with me, and then I don't know what I'm doing. So, like as far as like clicking buttons and stuff. So there it is. Anyways, here's a picture of them beside each other. So this, the one on the right is my 16-year-old, and then the one on the left is my 14-year-old. So you really can't tell, but I just liked this picture, so I wanted to show it. It's a new picture. What?
Mm-hmm.
I said on the right and on the left. Yeah, I did. Anyways, the younger one's on the right, and the older one is on the left. So, I'll just leave that there when I try to find one of them standing beside each other. That was really what I was trying to do. Anyways, he hasn't started. I don't know. He hasn't told me anything about starting football yet. So my 9th grader, I'm gonna have one playing high school football and one playing youth football. So my 1st grader, it'll be his first year playing real football. He played flag football. Like I don't know, a couple months ago. They only had like 6 games. And that was his first time ever playing football. And so he started with flag football. So that way at least he like learned a little bit. But now, okay, here's a picture of all of us. I have this one posted on my community page. So
Whatever. I remember you posting what your kid's teacher. I'm trying to remember what the story was.
Oh yeah. So I'll tell you about that too. I'll pull up her stuff. She got arrested, got bonded out, got rearrested. Yeah, she basically, I think she turned herself in so that she could bond right out. So, okay. anyways, so she hold on, there's two. Sorry, I'm cooking things on. Is it showing?
Yeah, I see a picture.
So I try to look on my phone and on here. It's kind of hard to tell. Okay, so see on the very far right is the 16-year-old, and then on the all the way on the other side is the 14-year-old with his we thought broken arm. Thankfully, was not broken. They thought his
So yeah,
elbow. He
he
hurt
does
it
look
like on
older.
his last games of football. Yeah. So, and then there's the 4-year-old, 6-year-old, and then the oldest and his fiance, and then yeah, there's all of us. So, anyways, the oldest is just turned 20 last month, and he's a mess, but he's an adult. No, he does pretty good. Like he's responsible and whatever. Like he takes care of business, pays his bills, does his stuff. So
My nephew just turned 22.
Your nephew is 22?
22, and he came over this weekend and was drinking with my like. It's just so weird when he drinks with my husband. Like,
Yeah.
like he's a baby to me still. I don't know. It's so weird.
Yeah. That's how it now that my son cusses around me. Like he don't just like walk around cussing all the time, like whatever. But now that he like does, it's sometimes just catches me off guard, and it's just so weird. Because like I'm sure he did before, but not to my face. Like he didn't let me hear him say it. And so, or like when he like obviously he's not old enough to vape here in Texas, but he does. And once he turned 18, I really can't tell him what he can or can't do anymore, you know. And especially now his fiance is almost 22, so once she turned 21 last year, it was like she basically could buy whatever anyway. So I guess that's what happens when you are younger with an older girlfriend or fiance or whatever.
Yeah. I think if you can join the army at 18 and do everything else at 8, like, come on, really?
Yeah. So yeah, so and once he started like vaping and doing all this stuff like in front of me, it was just like so weird. So weird. I was definitely not used to it. Like he got a car last year, and it has had so many problems with it. We've already had to put a new motor in it, like, and it's outside now, sitting in the yard. He's waiting on everybody else to figure out what's wrong with it. So, well, he's still making payments on it because he doesn't want to ruin his credit and whatever. So, still having to pay insurance, and which I just dropped the insurance down to liability only with just me on it because his insurance is crazy.
You can drop it down to even just collision.
Yeah.
If it's not being driven, you can drop it down to just collision.
Yeah. Well, so for work, he had to like still have insurance or whatever because he drives from store to store or whatever. So at that time, like I paid it, and then I just dropped. I took because it's so crazy. So he didn't get his driver's license until he was 18. I paid for like the parent taught driver's ed or whatever, and he like didn't really make the effort to do the things he needed to do. So then he ended up just having to wait till he turned 18 and go do it that way. And so then his insurance was crazy because he hadn't had his license for very long. So I guess that it makes a really big difference. I'm sure also where you live too and whatever makes a difference, like state to state and whatever. But here, like if you have your license when you turn 16 and you're on your parents' insurance and all of that, then when you turn 18, you've obviously already had 2 years driving experience before you have your own insurance. Like if you have your, you could still be on your parents, whatever. But like on your own, like his was crazy at the age of 18 because he had his license less than a year. And so even now it still hasn't really gone down, and he's had it 2 years now.
And it's a bad time for insurance too.
Isabel, how do you say it? I always try to say people's names and can't. I know how to say it. I just cannot make my mouth say it. I can't. Yeah, it's not gonna work. It was probably gonna sound like avocado if I just said what I was about to say.
Acevedo?
Acevedo.
Acevedo?
Did we say it right? Oh, I didn't click show on that. What'd you say? Our oldest is special needs, so when he turned 18, it was on and popping with the cuss words. I want a fucking cookie, and I love that fucking shit. Yeah, that sounds like me, anyways. And so that's probably why it sounded like, well, why do you talk like that? But I can't. Like, I think that's one of the, like, my younger kids will, like, start counting, like, my cuss words, and then, like, trying to make it a joke. Like, and I'm like, excuse me, ever since I was, like, old enough that I felt like I could talk that way, I did. And so now it's hard to not.
Yeah. Well, and social media doesn't help either.
No, but I do have a really good filter when I'm in public situations, like say at the school or somewhere like that. Like I'm really good at like not like it's weird how your brain like knows situations not to talk that way. Like it's just like
I
turns
won't
them
cuss
off.
in front of my grandparents. I absolutely refuse.
That's how I was until my grandma passed away. I knew that she hated it when I cussed because there was a few times I know I had caught myself on the phone, like after I was over 18 or whatever, but I would call and be upset about something. And I like, I'd caught myself saying a bad word, like on the phone to her. And I was like, like I was going to be in trouble. Like I stopped immediately, like, oh my God. Like she did not just hear me say that. And
I
so
remember
I was the same way. And when I would catch myself, I'd be like, oh my God, I'm in so much trouble.
my grandma caught me vaping, and I felt like a little teenage, like a kid getting caught smoking. It was so scary.
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah. It's because like respect. I feel like that's the thing is a lot of people just don't have that anymore. I feel like it's I
Yeah.
don't know. And maybe with social media and people like kids and young adults, whatever, being on their phones and just everything all I don't know. They just don't have the same respect towards people as like I feel like probably most of us like grew up with or learned.
Respect your elders. That's what how I was definitely brought up.
She said, he said, oh shit. My 6-year-old came in here and told me earlier that he's like, Mom, I'm not gonna be in trouble, right? I'm gonna be in trouble, right? And I was like, no, what? And he said, I was in there playing the game and I meant to say shoot. And I accidentally said the bad word. And I said, okay, well, don't do it again. But it was just the way he came in here and he was like, I accidentally said the bad word. Don't be mad at me, okay? So funny. Yeah. But it's really funny because my 16-year-old, when he was about their age, okay, so my 16-year-old and 14-year-old and then 6-year-old and 4-year-old, obviously they're like the same age difference from each other. Like, so when obviously they were 6 and 4, I think they were probably around that age. They were outside playing. And this was like 2013 ish. And so they had like little phones or whatever that were probably like my old phones or something and like linked to my Google account or something. And so like several years later, we had found this little video that they had been recording each other like running around outside playing. And my 16-year-old was telling they were probably about 6 and 4 at the time. But the older one was telling the younger one, take me to jail, motherfucker. Take me to jail. He was like, they were, I guess, playing like some cops and robbers type shit. I don't know. But like so, and obviously by the time we found it, it was like way past the point of really like punishing him for something that was like years before. But it was just like so funny because like he sounds like and like I listened to it. I saw it recently. I came across it recently, and I listened to it, and he has the cutest little kid voice. He's, take me to jail, motherfucker. Take me to jail. Well, I don't know. It just there was more to it. That's just the main part that we all remember and like talk about. Take me to jail, motherfucker. That's what he sounded like. It was so funny. It was so funny. Oh my God. And so now it's just a joke.
Those are the videos you have to
Obviously,
make sure
knowing
you
that they
save
never said
forever.
anything like that in front of me. They never talk like that in front of me. But to catch it, like how were obviously outside running around playing behind my back. Like, yeah, it was just funny. I know I don't even know what I would do at this point if I ever. No, I mean, not that I would have a girl now, because obviously I'm not having any more kids. But Like, I don't even know what I would have done. Like, I thought I wanted a girl, but I think I would have been so lost, so confused. Like, not know how to like do pigtails. I mean, I can do pigtails, but some
That's
braids.
how I would be with a boy.
Yeah, I feel like I don't even. I mean, I feel like I definitely got to miss out on, but having so many boys, obviously one of them is going to give me a girl grandbaby at some point, I would assume. So at least at some point, I should be able to do like bows and dresses and all those things, and then send them back home. But maybe whoever knows. This day and age, I feel like you really don't ever know. A lot of grandparents end up raising their grandkids, and like, I mean,
When
it's
they
sad.
get abandoned.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's so crazy. Like, I've thought back several times in my life. I've been like, I mean, obviously before I had my two younger kids, like at any point in time, I could have decided, like, hey, I'm going to go, I don't want to be a parent anymore. Like, I'm going to go do blah, blah, blah. Then, like, where would that have left the three of my kids? Like, they have literally never had anybody else but me. So at any point in time, I literally was like, the only person between them and like what? Like, I don't know. It's crazy to think about. She says you don't want a girl. She said, "Take me to jail, motherfucker." It was so funny. It was so funny. I think it was only so funny because it was like we found it so much later. Like nobody, I mean, had even nobody had a clue if this had happened at the time, or like one of them I feel like was like on the bike or something riding around recording, and then the other one was just like running around, and I don't know. I feel like you can't even really see them in the video. It's more like the ground than anything. There's a little voice in the background was like the funniest thing.
Do they remember making the videos?
Yes, they very much remembered making the video. Look, okay, she said I want a girl so bad, but my tubes are tied. Okay, look, I want to ask you that because I just had this conversation the other day with Melissa a little bit about a lot of the problems that I have, like hormonal, whatever, started after I had my tube. So I just wonder if other people have like had similar, which there is a thing called post tubal ligation syndrome. And so I guess some people it does cause a lot of problems, and I don't know why or how exactly. And it's really hard to get like doctors or anyone like on board with these things or like to understand these things. Like if they haven't experienced it themselves, like I feel like they just don't listen or understand. And so I'm just like curious if other people have like had problems after, because I was never ever the way, and that's why I think so I had him March 2020. So when that whole situation had happened in October 2021, I had been on a whole lot of medications at the time. My doctor had, so it's like she would give me one for this, and then I would have all these side effects from that medicine. And instead of like realizing I probably shouldn't take that medicine, she would just give me this one because so basically the first medicine may make my anxiety worse. So then she gives me another one to help with the anxiety symptoms. So I don't feel like my heart's racing all the time or whatever. So then she gives me another one for this and then another one for like all to treat the symptoms of the medication. Like it didn't make sense. So I was on all those medications and then obviously still took forever for me to realize that the outburst and situations I was dealing with was happening every month. Like until I really started like paying attention to like all of that. Like, but it was never before I had the tube. And I know a lot of people have opinions on that because I didn't want to do it. And my doctor, I could not. There was not any other doctors for me to see. And she literally said, I will only see you and do this if you agree to do, which I could have backed out the day, when I had my C-section, I could have changed my mind. But I didn't know that it would cause so many problems. And I had already agreed to doing it. So I felt like I needed to do what I said I was, I don't know. But if I knew then what I know now, I
They
mean, I
made
don't
my
know.
sister do the same thing. She wanted her tubes tied, but they wouldn't let her do it until she was 25 or had 3 kids. So then when she had her third kid, they forced her to do it when she didn't want to do it anymore.
But everybody tried to literally gaslight me and tell me that that's not true. They can't force you. They can't make you see another doctor, do all this. Like, literally, it's not like I could just go home and have a baby.
Yep.
Like, I couldn't just go home and deliver. Like, they literally, and it had something to do, I guess I had I had problems with my placenta, like in most of my like the placement of it, and if I would have went into like labor naturally, it would have been like a really bad situation from the way that they always described it to me. Because a lot of doctors don't want you to ever do a VBAC or a, what is it, vaginal birth after C-section or whatever it's called. So even after the first one, they try to tell you it's dangerous and whatever. But after my third C-section, I had actually went into labor and I was having contractions and I had like drove myself to the hospital and I had a C-section scheduled for like October 20th, which was my sister's birthday. And I did not want to have it on my sister's birthday because we don't really get along. And so I was like, can we please change it? And they were like, no, we can't. This is when it is. And so then I ended up having contractions and drove myself to the hospital and had him on October 16th. So 4 days early. So it was just crazy the way that it happened. But anyways, they had told me that if I didn't make it there or whatever, I probably would have like bled out and died, is literally what they said. But I didn't understand it at the time. What they were saying, obviously when they told me this, it was, I had just had a baby. I just had a C-section. So I don't think it really even computed in my head what they had said until much later when I was thinking about it. And so I really didn't take in whatever it was that they had told me, but it had to do obviously with my placenta. And then with my fourth and fifth, I also had, like with the last one I didn't feel him move for a long time because the placenta was like really in the way. Like I guess between like, I don't know, too high up or too wherever it's not supposed to be.
Oh.
Oh, by the way, today is here. Hello, today. I've seen you all over in Jessica's and Mindy's and mine. Like, who are you, and what is like your involvement to be so like worried about everybody and what everybody's doing? And it's crazy because you're on everyone's talking shit. Like, so it's not like, I mean, it's not like you're even in support of somebody. You're literally just everywhere to talk shit. So, I'm assuming you're talking shit about my ex-husband's brother, which is not my family. So, to also not on, yes, actually, let me click you.
That was a dick thing to say.
Yeah, seriously. It said, okay, so it says, so basically, oh, let me, hold on. I always forget that I can like click things and stuff. There you go. So basically, it's a family full of junkies that all die young or get locked up from poor choices. Okay, so the older brother died after he had a like quadruple bypass. No, maybe it wasn't a bypass. They had to like make a mechanical valve for his heart, and he died after heart surgery. So you're just a piece of shit. And then the sister got really sick and was in ICU on life support for a while, and she just didn't get better. So no, neither one of them actually has ever been a drug addict, alcohol. Well, Amos may be a little bit of an alcoholic. Not to a bad point. Maybe went to jail a little bit too much for being drunk or whatever. But no, he was not. Like he worked and he had a baby that was like almost 2 maybe. So he like kind of had restarted too. He like had started over. His older kids are older than my older son. And so they were like basically adults, and he started over with having a new baby, and his baby was like not even 2, I don't think, when he passed away. So no, I know, but I feel like it's speaking on their memory like that's pretty fucked up. And I feel like I do want to clarify that they died too young in ways that they shouldn't have. And it was, I mean, like of natural causes but still ways that they shouldn't have at their ages. Sad. And they both had kids that were under the age of 18, and so it's pretty fucked up for somebody to like speak of them in that way. So and then even the younger one that just went to jail is not like, he literally made a mistake at the age of 19 that he's been running from ever since. So he's not, other than obviously going to prison, he's not ever been a drug addict or any of that. That was actually all just the one brother. And my ex-husband. He was the only one that was that you could throw into that category. So, anyways, let's see. Okay, well, so the new medication really actually was me switching birth control, and it's been a little bit rough. Um, but I'm trying to be hopeful. It's only been like 2 weeks, maybe 2 or 3 weeks, and so I'm trying to give it a good month at least before I don't know, before I decide to try something different. I don't know. So basically, that's the crazy part. So obviously, I just said I've had a tubal, and oh, they said that Mindy's been here. Do
Well,
I still eat?
you can get on birth control. Like I remember getting on birth control in high school for acne, like anything to balance your hormones.
Right. Well, so I kind of wish I would have done it before instead of I don't know. I was so scared because I took birth control for over 5 years. That makes you only have 4 cycles a year, basically. So instead of one a month, you just have 4 a year. And so I took it for over 5 years like that. So when I stopped taking it, it took a lot for my body to like get back to normal. And that was when I decided to have my younger 2 kids. And it was kind of, I mean, it took a year, I think, from the time I stopped taking it until I finally got pregnant. It took a year. And that was with my doctor finally put me on like metformin, or I don't know. She put me on medication to try to regulate everything for me to be able to get pregnant, because I honestly don't think that I was like ovulating or doing any of the stuff because I had taken the birth control for so long. I think it had me so messed up. So because of that, I was so scared to try to take anything again. But then I feel like the tubal really, really messed me up. And so I really wish I could just go get everything taken out. But then I feel like then you still have to, like experience like the menopause, or I don't know. I guess then you still would have to probably have like hormone replacement therapy, and then you can have side effects from all of that. I feel like it's just like lose. I don't know that there's like a right answer, and everyone reacts differently to everything. So it's just like,
Well, not only that, but you also have a lot going on with your dad and everything going on.
yeah, no shit. So that's thankfully, which I haven't really done an update on. Yeah, I'll take it. And I was just, I'm sorry, I try to be an asshole sometimes, and I shouldn't. I should really not. I shouldn't entertain it. But yeah, so everything with my dad. So when all this stuff first started, obviously he was like just starting chemo. So he's had 3 treatments now of the 4. And so when they did, I guess, labs or whatever that they did recently, his numbers were like way down from where they were when he first started. And that was before the 3rd one. So after the 2nd one, before the 3rd one, the 3rd one he just did last week, his numbers were already from like 600 to 200 or something. And so I don't know a lot about where they're supposed to be and all that, but I know that they were really happy with where they were, and he still was, going to be having the one last week and then one more the first week of August. And so they're expecting by then for his numbers to be down really low. And so they're really happy with it. And I think they said, I did take it off. It should be off. She just told me to take it off the screen, and I did, I think. Hopefully. I don't see it, so hopefully it's not on there anymore. But anyways, yeah, so far he's doing really good. A lot better than I think expected. And so I think at first we really didn't know when I talked about it really what was going on. But so at this point they're saying he has liver cancer, and it sounds like bone, like, and it was in its bone. And I think that's where a lot of the pain was coming from, which he's not really having now.
Is the chemo like taking away his energy and all that?
I don't know, because my dad is really like a giant kid. And so he's like, he feels like he's supposed to get like all this certain amount of attention, and if he doesn't feel like it, then he's extra like needy, and I don't know. But he's also spent most of my life like waiting to die, like expecting to die at any moment. Like because he's had heart problems for so long or whatever, and had stents put in, and then quadruple bypass, and then whatever. And all the men in his family don't live very long. I mean, like, I think he's outlived like all of them for the most part. Like, not only I'm saying like they've all passed on. What I'm saying is age wise, I think most of them had not even made it to the age that he is. And I think they had all pretty much. Like, he is the only one. Wait, I'm trying to think how many siblings are left. I think there are 3 siblings left of 6, and he's the only male. His other 2 brothers passed away long ago. So, but yeah, he seems to be doing pretty good with the cancer. Other than he thinks he's supposed to eat all day and all night, I guess, because the doctors say that the cancer will eat regardless if he does. So that he needs to make sure he's eating, all the time. And so that
he has an appetite and all that.
Yeah, so that just means he thinks that he's supposed to be eating all the time. So, yeah. And then all this other situation going on, like, it's just crazy. That's crazy. And now I'm just like in a waiting game for that, because now people are out of the office, and for like the next week, and it's just yeah, waiting on phone calls and all of that. But I'm glad that it should be a pretty quick situation, and they were able to see what was all like really going on, and they watched a lot. People probably really didn't assume that they were watching, but before he came here, he had already watched videos, so they were aware of the situation. I mean, they were aware of what was really happening before I ever even talked to anyone. So they had already
pretty damning evidence.
Thankfully, they had already like came to that conclusion before they talked to me, and then verified that what I was saying was pretty much the same thing that they had been seeing. Like, it's pretty obvious what was happening and what had been happening, and especially when people admit that they try to send people to a mental institute. Like, I'm just saying, when you brag about trying to make people go crazy,
on top of bragging about being a master manipulator.
Yeah. Seriously. I can't wait to see how the shit show turns out, goes. I don't even know what to say and what not to say, really.
Yeah, well, you can't do false claims like that with no repercussions.
No, and I wonder, like, if there's like proof of somebody like doing it continuously, literally from like 15 years ago all the way now to people. That's like I saw Jessica say yesterday on, well, she did a live on her vlog channel that she privated, and I didn't see the whole thing, but I saw part of it, and she was talking about, she did say, I think I forgot to mention this to you, she did say that right as they were leaving from Chicago, someone did another case on, they called in another case on her.
But
so obviously, who would have done that to try to keep her from going anywhere?
Right.
Everybody knew that she was moving. Like, everyone saw and knew. Like, it was very clear that they had the shipping containers and they were packing to move. Like, so basically, as that was happening, who is going to try to do something to keep them from going? Yeah. So tells on it. It all tells on itself. Not to mention, I know before Tracy got like the phone call, so I'm sure that can be. I'm sure all of that can be FOIA'd. I don't know how that works, though. I was just saying earlier.
I don't think you can make a claim like that anonymously. Like, when it's that serious, I'm pretty sure you have to give your information.
Well, and I would say the texting with whoever, like, they would have to know who they're. I mean, I would think that they had to know who they were talking to if they're.
Oh yeah, huh?
Or as far as that, I'm talking about in my situation. But before, like, and I don't know if every state is different, but I just know before, I remember Tracy had phone calls. It was on that website. She had the phone calls because it was like, I think it was like Reese's dad or somebody in the phone call. It was one of the phone calls she was trying to say was other people that were calling from YouTube or whatever. But it was actually ended up being like Reese's dad or somebody else. I think I'm pretty sure it was Reese's dad.
Well,
But
then Amanda admitted she called. Like, there's a lot of
yeah,
people have admitted they called. Like,
yeah.
and that's oh, karma will get him.
But if Reese had agreed to her being able to leave and Amanda wasn't all obsessed about it at that point, who else would have been calling to keep her from trying to leave Chicago? I mean, from Illinois, Chicago. Mindy and Jason.
Yep.
Yeah. So guarantee that she called at least once, if not more than that. But I have all those things from the dirty.com showing where she called CPS on other people and called the cops on other people. Like people like said all that on there. I really should post all that stuff. There's so much of it to have to go like edit it all to do it. But I should because she's been doing that to people for at least 15 years.
Yeah. And then to wait till you're mad at someone to call like that. Like, if you're really worried about any kids, you don't wait for a falling out to call. Like, that alone takes all the credibility out of the call.
Bye, Shriner family. I don't know what can I call you if you're still in here. Tell me what I don't want that. I mean, if you are okay with me calling you Shriner family, then I'll call you Shriner family. But if you would rather me call you by your name or something, and you're still in here, let me know.
Like, I just hope with Jessica, I hope that there has to be some kind of block to put anything going against her in the future. Like, for them to have opened a case that many times, like, that's not even fair to her for them to keep finding it unfounded just to get more calls.
Right, right, and I feel like that's why at some point you would think that they would be able to like. I mean, obviously, I'm sure that they flag it to say, "Hey, this is probably false." I'm sure they still like at least reach out and like check to make sure there's no like there's
Yeah,
no
like,
valid like claim. But I mean that was like when they came in, what they just wanted to like physically see my kids because they were coming from when the welfare check was called before. This was not from this recent call. When they came out here, which actually honestly is what made it look so stupid because she's the same person that called both times. Um that yeah. So anyways, the situation. So I mean, and both the 14 and 16-year-old both talked to him and like yeah. So it's just crazy that
and then
that people
to
that
show
don't
the
have
text
kids
message.
are so quick. That people that don't have their kids are always so quick to do some shit like that to hurt kids. Like, I mean, yes, it's to hurt me or to hurt Jessica or whatever, but like you literally give no fucks about hurting the kids.
Because they lost their kids to the system, they want to make everybody else feel their pain.
And this, I mean, and honestly, it was, I mean, it is a little more traumatizing for my older kids than it is for my younger ones because they've been through a lot more when they were younger with their dad and whatever, which I'm not sure if I've really talked about. I feel like I may have mentioned it last week or whatever. But literally, I went to jail one time when he ran from them, and they threatened me. The cops threatened me, and they told me I had 5 minutes to find somebody to come get the kids, or they were calling CPS. Like that's all. Like the cops and CPS, like all that's a little bit traumatic for. Like we have not dealt with that in so many years, so many years, so many years. The cops in general, any of that, but it's still so traumatic for me, for them, like just ever having to deal with it or be around it.
Over a YouTube argument. Come on now.
Seriously, but over you being so worried about um people like looking into your stories or like I'm not really sure. And so she thought the other day I saw where she thought that maybe I was questioning the time that she did. But what people seem to not understand or realize, including her and him and everyone else, is that I am very aware of the federal system and how it works. I'm very aware of like the sentencing guidelines and the points and like how all of it works. That's just like I said before, like if they made it try, like I was trying to talk to Jason when I get a hold of Jason, I very easily would have known how to do that. Like I'm saying, I know how it works for the most part. That's like when she talks about Ghosto. I feel like at some point I would like to better explain what happened with my ex-husband in that situation and what she's claiming happened with her to explain it better to people because I don't think people have as good of an understanding of why people say it like that. I mean, I explained it to you a little bit the other day, and I understood what you were trying to say, and I agree with the way that you were trying to say it. But I feel like it's bigger than what people are kind of able to understand. That's like with that the murder charge that they dropped, basically to be able to charge all of those 11 people or whatever it was in that indictment with the federal charges instead of the state charges. Do you get what I mean? And so it was all around the same time frame. So it seems like around 2012, 2013, that was just what they were doing. The feds were like picking up all these cases, and then the state was dropping cases because the feds were like, making bigger indictments on more people. So they were getting more people instead of these other, like, I don't know. So I feel like I should explain that a little bit at some point, maybe do like a live or a video about that a little bit.
More people for less time instead of, yeah.
Well, and for federal time instead of state time. So it's like completely different than like, because the amount of time is like completely different. And each state, obviously, it's different on the amount of time you have to do versus what you're sentenced. Then federal, you have to do 85% of your time. And then you still have to get out and go to a halfway house for however long. And which is where my ex-husband couldn't make it because he kept getting kicked out of the halfway house and having to get sent back and whatever. So then basically he ended up, instead of getting that extra time, and like how she said she did 6 months in the halfway house, so that still counts. Yes, I know that. I'm not questioning any of that. When I said about her timeline, I'm talking about the way that she talks about things happening, the ages of her kids, and that it had not,
that she had been out of the game for 2.5 years. No.
None of that adds up to what she said. The stories are basically a lot of, there's truth to a lot of it, but the timing of the things that she says based on what really happened, and I don't think it's because she's just confused about it. I think it's because she wants it to look different, as opposed to using pregnant, not using pregnant, that type of situations. So
I sent you that video where she went live, where she admitted that she used while she was pregnant, and that
she said
grateful that her kids weren't born addicted. And she doesn't say that anymore.
Nope. She says that. She said she was she had been out of the game 2 years when she got. But in that video, she literally says she got pregnant both times in active addiction with her 2 young in active addiction both times. So that's the story that she tells now. And
so that's what she's afraid of. That is the timeline she's afraid of coming up.
Yes, that's what they were so afraid of, is that they don't want the real timeline of the actual situation. So most of what she has said is factual. It's just the way that she is presenting it. It's to look like she didn't do a lot of the things that she did. Like she wasn't using when she was pregnant. Like her kids weren't still there. Which all of her literally her stories before I read that statement, we'll call it a statement. Her stories before that were that she had 2 houses and her kids were in one house, but now you say that your kids were with their dads. That wasn't what. Now you're saying the kids, the dads brought them, and all this different. Like it's switching now. Now that it don't add up. So,
but they were with their dad, and they're with the grandparents, and the dad abandoned them, but the grandparents took them.
So I would say that she probably did between 4 and 4.5 years in federal prison, and then about 6 months in a halfway house. So it would be a little under 5 years, which I already know. I mean, I literally am not questioning that. Never questioned that. But I do question how she was able to get off of federal probation early, because I don't know that that's.
I also do strongly believe that she told to get her competition.
She lies like she breathes. She definitely lies like she breathes. Oh, that's what Isabel said. She definitely lies like she breathes. No, she wasn't a queen. She was more of a middleman. Because in the statement, in the paperwork, says that whoever said that they came to buy whatever, and she went and got it from her supplier, like went inside, got it from her supplier, and brought it back outside to them. So to me, that sounds like you're the person in the middle of them and them. Like literally not the main person's in the house that you just went and got it from.
And her her earlier videos too, she says that she was selling to supply her own habit, and then all of a sudden some big kingpin.
Yeah. She today said, did they die of overdoses? Did who die of overdoses? I just like clearly said a while ago that neither one of them were even on drugs, so you're just an idiot, like, to be honest. And it's really fucked up to like talk about people in that way that have passed away and have nothing to do with anything. So that just says more about you than it does anything else. I'm just going to
I think today should come back tomorrow.
yeah, today should come back tomorrow. That's what I literally just timed them out for 24 hours. So that was pretty funny that you said that as I was doing it. So today should come back tomorrow. She said I should make a video. You, or I, me should make a video of her contradictions back to back. There's too many. There's too many to
Yeah,
do.
there's so many.
But that's what I've been trying to work on, and that's what everybody started freaking out about, apparently, because that's when everyone started like attacking. And that's the thing is, people come on here and say, "Well, nobody's even been talking about." I didn't say a damn thing for over a month until they started talking about my kids. That's what, like, oh, thank you, Cassie. How sweet. I mean, obviously, I would hope so. I would really hope that that's a known given thing right there. I really would hope no one questions that, but apparently some do. So,
Speaking of that troll, she
yeah.
claims to have all these gangster charges, but how would that big a charges only do how many months did she?
No, she never even. That's questionable too. And I feel like until I really look into her like the paperwork, I'm not going to understand it exactly. And even then, I might not. But I don't really understand that either. When all that stuff was found in her house, and she only did a little bit of time in the county jail.
I'm pretty sure she was one of those little pick me girlfriends that took charges for the boyfriend.
Yeah, but it sounded like whoever was already in jail. Sounded like somebody else was already like whoever she was involved. I guess the boyfriend, baby daddy, whatever the situation was. It sounded to me like from the little bit she said about it the other day. And that's the thing is everybody keeps saying, well, if you've been around for any time, you know she's already. I don't pay attention. I don't.
She ain't relevant.
Don't pay attention to her. I don't know what she has said or not said about her story. I could give two fucks about what she has said or has not said. Like, she is the one that literally went on and on about how if I go talking about Mindy's timeline, she was gonna come for me and blah blah. But then when I defend myself, she didn't say anything about me. I mean, all these people are saying she didn't say anything. Why am I coming for her? Like, bitch, you sent for me. Don't send
She
for me.
inserted herself.
Like,
how did she go from being best friends with people that we won't even get into to all of a sudden hating those people? Like, she was talking crazy shit about Jason and everybody, and now all of a sudden she wants to be best friends with them and abandon the people that she was talking shit about them with.
she said, Melissa said she banged a gang member once.
Yeah.
That's funny. Here, I'm going to mute it real quick because my mom just got back with my 4-year-old, and so they're about to come in. And so if you want to talk to people in the comments, I'll be right back.
Grab my other phone. Yeah, I've got some geriatric gangsters. They don't got no life, nothing better to do than get on YouTube and stir up drama. So Tira was saying that she'd moved to Chicago with her best friend, and that she was talking crazy, getting mouthy with her best friend's husband, and now they're kicking her out. So she's now suddenly basically dry begging Jason for somewhere to stay. Like, she claims she has a crew and all these friends, but that she's going to be homeless on the street selling cigarettes for income. Like, if Chicago's her hometown, she has no friends to stay with, that she's trying to depend on people she don't even know. Other than there, when I came or wanted to, was talking to Amber coming live with her, everyone's accusing me of being, or saying that it was Amber on other accounts, and they've accused me of being like 3 other people. So I wanted to make it known that she's not talking to herself. Oh, she didn't get no apartment. She don't even have money for food. She doesn't even have money for cigarettes, and she thinks she's gonna get anything.
Okay, I'm back. You can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And my mom, she always comes in and like talks and talks and talks. So I wasn't sure how long she was gonna talk. So she's already headed home, but I knew he wasn't gonna stay. So.
And then how rude is it for Tira to even try to insert herself into Jason's place? Like, how much? Oh, that's just that would not end well. I can only imagine.
I feel like she's gonna end up there anyways, especially now that Mindy's there for some reason. I feel like more of a reason for her to
Mindy
come in.
said she's only there for a week.
Well, but this is a perfect reason. I mean, way for them to like meet and all of that, right?
Well, she also claimed that she was going to meet everybody else last time that she was coming to Chicago. That that JK bullied her out of it.
Did anybody else catch on to the fact that she said, like, about her being back at Adams? That she said that you don't know what agreement we had. You don't know how much money I made. You don't know. Did anybody else catch on to that, or was that just me?
Oh yeah.
Because like, what are you insinuating yourself here? That you had a job to go do, and that involved staying with something? Because there was obviously someone else was there. Like, I swear, at one point I heard the shower on when she had just gotten out the shower. So I mean, I guess but why would it still be on? And then another time, there was somebody
when she was at the other place.
Yeah.
No, and then remember she kept muting it so no one could hear whoever the guy talking. And then she said she had said that she that it was something about depressing. Didn't she say something that she had to leave because it was
so
depressing?
depressing at the other place, and now she was so much better here, blah blah blah. But then yet, like a week later, you're back at the place that was so depressing just like a week before.
Yep.
But also, like, what kind of dude like just lets you like burn out and come back and burn out and come back, or like, especially knowing that you're with other, like, so what was this, like the third person's bed she's been in less than a week?
Yeah, 3 different guys' beds in less than
maybe 2 weeks. We'll give her 2 weeks at the most, because there was a little bit of time that we're not sure if she was at one or the other, because she was not trying to let people know, obviously.
We'll say 8 days.
I think it was some kind of like Airbnb type place, to be honest. Like, so like, you live in Florida, like, so when we go to Florida, we stay in like, it's like a condo thing, but like I rent it through like an Airbnb type place. So I feel like it was like an Airbnb type place. So like maybe like an apartment type situation, but like maybe with like owners, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think she ran off to some other guy who was trying to play Captain Save-A-Ho, and that didn't work out, so she went crawling back to Adam.
Well, she said something about they were trying to mess with somebody's wife or something. I don't know. Whatever it was. Did you catch that part?
Yeah, that the other guy's ex-girlfriend came back and she had to start some drama or something.
She said that she was probably with a John. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like it was somebody that she knew, though. I feel like maybe it was like either whether it was a setup situation, like for her to be there for a certain amount. I don't think that's what it was though. I feel like she went there with intentions of it being one thing and then it not being that, so she had to run back to
Yep,
the place she had to go.
that's what I think too. And that she like goes there and immediately is talking about getting her hair done, her lashes done, and
Yeah, but the hair situation was weird as fuck. You think she redid it or what?
I think
Because
she
that
had to
was
go
weird.
fix it after we called her out.
The back of it was weird. I mean, I don't know. I feel like you
Do you
don't see the back of your head, but I feel like after you get your hair done, you usually get a mirror and they like show you the back of your hair.
do you not notice she never brushes or does anything to the back of her hair? She only does those two front chunks.
Yeah. Yeah, seriously. And she'll brush it. She'll like, here, let me brush it real quick. And she just brushes like the front pieces
Yep.
on live. Like, doesn't even touch the back. Hey, Lacey. Sorry, I was going to say that, but then I like got distracted again. I'm really bad about that. Anyways, we were talking. I had a story time and then we just started talking about everything. I don't know. We had a weirdo in the chat that today has to come back tomorrow. So, they are no longer here, but I would assume that's how I don't know if that's how we started talking about it or not, but that's literally what happened. I was doing a story time, so I'm going to leave it up if you want to catch it later. It was just a little bit of a little crazy situation that currently happening, but
Oh, did she
goes back a
met
long way.
met Adam off the skip the games?
She said, didn't she say Tinder?
Like
Which
Tinder.
Tinder
Yeah,
is just a free version. Because Tinder is basically the same thing, except for they're not offering to pay you, right? I mean,
but
isn't
then
it like,
she
aren't
also
you still basically trying to meet people for the same purposes, though, or am I tripping?
when her and Adam first got together, she had a video when they were in the truck, and she said that she was with Adam before Frank. So she left Adam, got with Frank, and then went on to the next guy, and then the next guy, and then back to Adam.
So it was, wait. So it was Adam. So when she was in the truck with Adam, she came back and was with Frank, and then Neil is the one that she
Neil.
was always in the car
And then
when she was
Tommy.
working with him. Oh, wait, no, maybe that was Tommy.
There was
Was that Tommy?
Tommy.
But was
There
Tommy the
was,
one that she was always in the car with, or no? Or was
yeah,
that
I
Neil?
think.
I know Neil is the one that has like the really raspy voice that was talking to Jason on the phone that one day and all that.
Yeah.
Crackhead voice. That crack that, that crack smoke voice, like when that thing. That's what he
The
sounded
one
like.
that the one that came to stay with her so she'd be safe when she had her her
Yeah,
GoFund the Botox up.
yeah. Yeah, because okay, so I don't know if anybody really like realized or paid attention to the fact that when he supposedly moved, the rent came out of his like bank account. And so he was gonna have to change she was gonna have to change it because the way that it was set up, it came out like twice a month. So it came out like the beginning of the month and then like later the rest of it came out. So it was like not all at one time. And so I think if she paid anything, it was like partial and
She
not
said
very
it was
much.
like three. It was
Which
like
he
$300 that she had to pay. I remember her saying.
Yeah. So it was like, yeah. And so if she did pay anything, it definitely wasn't the total amount. And by the time it would have been due again, he was already back. So
Yep.
it probably came out of his account, honestly. The second payment probably came out of his account. So she probably didn't pay any of it, to be honest. And it
And if
probably, but
it's in
also
his
you seen in the
name.
text message that she won like $1,200 or something like that, like literally the day before or something like that. So like that wasn't the only money that she had towards the rent in the first place. She didn't even need to do that because
Can I ask a
she,
question?
yeah.
Can I borrow $41?
Depends. What do you need? 41. Do you need an Uber?
Um.
Do you need an emergency Uber?
Let's see here.
Oh my God. Does it have to be look or the other one is can I send you money on Chime and then you send it to me on PayPal? Or can I send it to you on PayPal and you send it to me on Cash App? I don't even have Cash App. So when she would ask me to do that, I would have to be like, I guess I can use my
No,
boyfriend's Cash App.
I actually was going to buy a Home Depot gift card.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what you were gonna do with it. You were gonna buy a Home Depot gift card. Okay,
Yeah.
but you weren't gonna like gamble or anything like that, or buy drugs.
No.
Okay, neither one of those.
Mama,
Yeah.
you ate to eat it.
Yes, baby. Let me see it. Yes.
I already ate.
So my 6-year-old earlier like had this like ring around his mouth, and it almost looked like you know when they like lick their mouth and it gets like raw kind of. And I kept thinking like, why does his face look like that? Oh, she said for plumbing purposes. It's to buy plumbing materials. Uh, anyways, so I was like, what? And so finally I showed him in the mirror, and he was like, oh, it's from the Jello. So I guess he was like licking the like Jello cup, and so it's just like in the circle on his mouth where he was like, I guess like licking it instead of just like getting a spoon or something. And so my 4-year-old was asking me about a spoon in the Jello just now, so it just reminded me of him earlier because I kept thinking, I was like, why? I was like, are you having an allergic reaction to something or something? I was like, why is your mouth all red like that? Like just in a circle around your mouth, like it's like, you know, like sometimes it'll do that though if you have like an allergic reaction or like you lick it and make it raw or like whatever kids do. I don't know, but I was like, what is wrong with your face? And then finally he's like, oh, it's from the Jello. And I was like, oh, okay, because I'm sitting here thinking like something's wrong with you. Oh my god, that's so funny. Anyways, yeah. So I was saying about the Cash App thing a while ago though. So when I posted the things, it was like I think there was at least one time that she sent it to me in one way, and I had to send it through his Cash App or something, or she sent it to his. I don't know. So then, like now, that's like so uncomfortable to me, knowing that she like does like weird shit, like request people $1 and all that, and I'm like, oh, that's fun. Like, if she just like, I guess I probably shouldn't just put that idea out there. Anyways, because yeah, so I haven't had Cash Out. Like they closed my account like about a little over a year ago, maybe. And it was the weirdest thing because it was around the same time that there was like some glitch and they like double charged a lot of people. And like a friend of mine like had it. She had to have like a few things. Oh, Melissa wants to know why that specific amount. Okay, so what we have come to the conclusion based on the things that she has said in the messages is because I think I have proof of it even right on one of the things in the messages between me and her to gamble. She said that she needed to borrow $20. Oh yeah, that was when she didn't have to send a picture of her boobs to someone. Was what the message said. Thank you for that, so I don't have to do this. And then she said it's keeping her her gambling is keeping her from using. And I'm just like, even at the time I was thinking, I mean, but it's still like it's still like the same thing. You're just like using in a different way, you know, because the way that she was, I mean, and obviously in the messages she talks about winning however much money, like I feel like that's a lot of what it is. And the way, I mean, her always wanted that specific amount of money from people, obviously is for that reason. So obviously it's a problem, you know what I mean? And so yeah, but so I guess some certain specific websites you can look and they show, I guess that's like maybe like the minimum or something. Like that's just like
I know someone found the website.
Yeah, I was gonna say I haven't ever looked into it, but I remember somebody had said that there's at least one specific website that's what is it like the minimum you can spend or something?
Yeah, you have to put like that's the minimum down.
And that's why she always needs that specific amount. It's for to
I
gamble
wonder
on
how
her
many
phone. She
people.
sits in the room and yells at her phone. Because that's probably what she's doing when she's on live on her phone all the time. And like people are always like, why is she always on her phone? She's probably gambling while she's yelling at the phone. So
I wonder how many people haven't come forward that have sent her $41.
So to be honest, I feel like most people are like embarrassed that they have
Been scammed by her. Yeah.
well, that they have defended her for so long. And I feel like at this point, if I had like been going as hard as some of these people, I would probably be embarrassed to admit it too. And so, like, I understand where they're coming from, kind of. Like, it's embarrassing to say that you are being and have been being so stupid. I mean, you think it wasn't embarrassing for me to, like, realize looking back how fucking weird and, like, the behavior that I was, like, it's not, that's, like, I mean, it's weird. It's,
It's
like,
a cult.
especially
It's
people,
literally,
especially people, like, that, like, I was doing all this shit, like, people I don't know, people I don't have, like, a real, I mean, before she, like, doxed my email address, I had, like, no, like, whatever. And at that point, I was like watching and recording all like everything. Like I don't even watch it now. Like I still like if I see I get a notification for something, I might click on it, but I don't look. I don't pay attention. I mean, I'm blocked on my regular like TikToks and whatever, so I don't look for like I see stuff on YouTube usually is the only time I really ever see anything. And most of the videos and stuff I feel like I don't really watch. The lives every now and then I'll click on. But like yesterday, the one that she did yesterday, it was privated. So, I was trying to think what, I mean, I said something a little ago that she had mentioned. Um, damn, I wish I could remember. I know I was really, look, I understand why you didn't like me, to be honest. Like looking back, it's embarrassing, like to think about that. Like, how could you be so like worried about what somebody else is doing? Like really though. Somebody you don't even I never really had like I was never like a fan, a hater. I was never like really none of that. It's like once I started like getting involved in watching shit, I would just like there was shit like I didn't really fuck with. You know what I'm saying? There was just shit that I didn't agree with, shit I did whatever. But for me to get so involved is so crazy. Like so crazy. Like and I really
yeah,
don't
she's
the
a
only thing I can
manipulator.
say is yes, but I mean, as far as like my part, the only thing I can say is that having ADHD, I do get like hyper focused on stuff, and so like it'll be like one day this thing, another day that like it'll last sometimes days, sometimes like I don't know, but it's like that'll be like the thing that I'm like focused on or whatever. And so, like, when I do that, like, I might not really realize this isn't like the healthiest thing. Like, I shouldn't be doing this, or like, this situation, obviously, but other things sometimes too. It's like I should put my energy in other places and not where I'm putting it. But I don't always see that, you know, because I'm too like worried about what I'm doing at that time. And especially in this situation, I had like gotten so involved that like I didn't see it from outside of what was being told to me and given to me. You know, I didn't see. And then once I was able to like separate myself from it, I was able to see things in like a much different way. To the point that I may not like or fuck with everything that they do, Jessica and Burner, either one. But at the same time, they're not. I don't think either one of them are like bad people or like bad parents. Even like I really feel like um I like very much judged both of them like for no reason, really. And based off just like I said, the shit I let other people like pull me into and like put in my head, and I really feel like a lot of it wasn't true. I feel like a lot of things were lies now looking back and being
Yep.
all of it. And a lot of people probably don't even realize some of it that was probably lies, and like it's just a lot.
I
So
think if she's willing to go so hard to lie and manipulate and spin the narrative on you. I can only imagine how bad she has spun the narrative on Jessica Burner.
yeah, no, seriously. And I've seen so much of it. Like because the whole reason like I have been very like vocal on the main thing that made me like back up. Like this is just like I don't know. And I feel like since that maybe my vibe was off. Maybe that's why maybe that's why he started coming at me different. But I mean I didn't feel as if it was. But at the same time, it very much was off because once I like saw the way he was moving mostly, and it wasn't even Mindy because at that point, like it wasn't until the next day when like Mindy had act like none of the stuff had happened the day before when I was really, really like that's the thing is they try to make fun of it and act like it was not really like that situation really happened. And it was because I felt like so I was already struggling, obviously. Everybody knew that before the fact. But then like once like the whole my information got sent to me and whatever. Like I was thinking about that in like a long-term thing, and I like freak out about things in that way, like in a long-term, like not a right now. They keep trying to act like I was scared of them coming to my house. No, I'm scared of the fact that my social security number is like such a big deal. And maybe to people that don't give a fuck about their credit or buying anything or doing anything with their life, maybe those kind of people don't understand why it was such a big deal. But I feel like that's like fucking with my like long term
For
life,
them to have it,
kids'
it's not.
life, and then like, but both of them have admitted. I mean, well, Jason admitted in whatever live with Tira that he has bad credit. He couldn't get a car because he has bad credit. So I'm just saying. So, but I'm supposed to be comfortable with that person having my social security number, even though they admit they have bad credit, right? And then also Mindy, like obviously has all these court things. Like she just had a court thing this week. She has all these people after her. That's why she doesn't stay anywhere for very long. Is because she has all these people after her for all these like this bank type money, like I don't know, loans or whatever it is, like credit card, whatever the situation.
She's got
Like
car loans after her, credit card loans. She's got so much shit after her.
that's one of the biggest reasons she can't be on a like apartment
She
lease
can't
or anything like that.
She doesn't even have a bank account. Like when you
Yeah,
can't even have a bank account.
no, because everyone has already like garnished everything. So anytime she gets anything, it's like gonna be gone. Like literally, there's court records of all this stuff. So for her to like not speak on any of that stuff, like obviously, yeah, that's why she wouldn't care about somebody having her stuff. But I'm supposed to be comfortable with these people that I'm talking about having bad credit and all this fucking shit. I'm supposed to be comfortable with them knowing my social security number. I'm supposed to be comfortable with that, and that's not supposed to be something for me to be scared of. I was never scared of physically a person. For them to continue to say, if you're so scared of somebody, why would you like you're so scared that they're gonna come kill you, so you're gonna go kill yourself. Like who the fuck ever said that?
They don't
Y'all
even have a
really made
way
it up,
to
and that's
get
why
to
it don't
you.
make sense. It's like that was not my concern. I was
They
not
don't even.
scared. I
They don't
like
even own a
literally
vehicle.
panicked for me to realize that people have like my information that can really like hurt me and my kids long term. Like that's I don't know. Especially when I know some of the things I know that people don't know about. Yeah, I'm just not even. Yeah,
Yeah, hold.
just yeah. I feel like there's just a lot of things people don't know, and that I just like can't really. I can only talk on certain things because, yeah.
I get it.
Other things have to wait until the right timing and they play out the way they're supposed to play out, I guess, before like it can be like yeah, okay, well so here's the thing. So I have gotten things for me and my kids over the last couple of years that our information has been in like data breaches with like Medicaid and like some other stuff like but it's like Medicaid is one, and I think we all got one. Like all the kids, like, and they offer like a year of credit monitoring or something like that. And then there was some other stuff I got that said the same thing. And so like there was another one that was recent, that was a really big data breach, and I know that dang, I don't remember what it was. It was a really big deal recently. And I was like, damn, like that's probably another one that we're going to have. But then my phone, so I don't have an iPhone like most people. So my phone just told me the other day, it was like something in Google. And, you know, like I guess how it like checks like for threats and stuff sometimes or something. It
Like your
told me
passwords.
that, yeah, well, I don't even know what I was on. I think I was trying to update an app or something. And so then, you know, like at the bottom, like Play Store or somewhere, it says something. And so it told me that it can check to see if my information, like it, so it asked me for my name, my address, my phone number, my email address. And it like checked all, like, I guess checked all Google for, because it was through Google. It's through my Gmail or whatever. And so it checked all of Google for my information. Like, and there were like 4 or 5 places that it had it. And then it like sends a request, like all through Google. Like, so it does it all through like just a push a button. And so it sent and requested to remove it from all 5 of it. And then it sent me an email and said it was removed from like all of it. So, that was something cool that because that's how I found my information when my email was doxed on Patreon over the tattoo picture. I was like, hey, I wonder with my email, because obviously my email address wasn't out there before that. And so I was like, I wonder what you could find looking it up. Like, so I looked it up and I found, thank God, my current phone number. And I've had my phone number for a long time. It's like a long time, probably at least 15 years. And so I'm like so glad and surprised that it was not connected to any of the things that I found, but the address was, and I like the current address and then like maybe like previous address and I don't remember what all information was on there, but that I mean obviously that wasn't something I wanted, you know, everybody to publicly have either. But I knew that if anybody, I knew that some people had looked my name up. I think that that's how I realized that my email address was connected to anything for me to look it up in the first place. But yeah, so I know other people had did it too, but by them doing that, by her doxing that, like, and me going to look it up was how I figured out. It was like a unlocked, like what is it? Like I leveled up with that because I didn't realize that I could search people with like that type of like where I found my information. And so then there were these two specific websites that I was using to like look up people's information. And so no, I mean obviously not that, you know, like not that I'm like the proudest of doing all of the things that I was doing, and it really didn't. I mean, but that was how I said in like some of the messages, like, well, that one's his dad's address and that one's that, but it's because I was able to find like certain addresses by looking stuff up. But for the most part, everything that like I'm able to like find is like through like state websites. I'm not like looking up people's like stuff like that. Like all the paperwork and stuff like that I have found, like when I found Werner's paperwork much before he had his own paperwork, and I kept trying to tell everyone. It was funny because I did send it to him at one point, and then I decided to make it into a joke about where my $1,000 was, since he offered to send $1,000 to anybody that had his paperwork. I mean, because I
Well,
didn't send it to him.
they forever claim that his record was sealed, and you're like, no, I have it, and they
No,
still, no,
yes,
it's sealed.
I had told everybody because they were wanting his like I guess like his movements in jail, and I think he can get that, but I don't think. I mean, if it was sealed or I don't know what the situation. But I have from what I have looked up, Utah is they do have a lot of ways to like close your stuff and have like they do have a lot of ways to like not really make a lot of your stuff very public. Like like it sounds like it's pretty easy to like have your, I don't know if it's your record expunged or like maybe sealed, or I don't know. I've read some of the stuff but it wasn't like recently, so I mean I'm not gonna speak like fact on it, but it does seem like it's pretty easy to have a lot of this stuff like where you can't see it or it didn't happen, or and maybe that's why that girl, oh, I ain't even gonna talk about that. I ain't supposed to talk about that.
Where I am, that
Maybe
like
that
to expunge your record, it's like 10 grand.
Yeah, so that means I mean, and she bonded out like on like a $20,000 cash bond. I'm saying like on those charges that, yeah. I know we're not
The
talking
other
about
thing
that,
too,
I know we're not talking about that, but I just wanted to say that she did because she got the money back. I saw in the paperwork that I was reading, she bonded out. It was a 20, not like a surety bond through the bondsman or whatever, but like cash bond that they got their money back. And like who does she know? Like she knows somebody or something, family or something that maybe we
the
need
other thing, like, why is it okay for them to question everyone's paperwork and timeline and being a rat, but as soon as somebody starts saying they're gonna post her timeline and her paperwork, why is it all of a sudden they're
call CPS
threatening
on
you?
people? Call CPS on people so that they don't like talk about you.
Yeah.
I don't. That's like wild as fuck. And that's why because I messaged the caseworker the other day and I said, do I just need to like say nothing? Like, I just don't want to make anything worse for myself. You know, I mean, it's not worse. It's not a bad situation in the first place. don't misunderstand that part of it, because it's really, I'm not in like a situation like they are trying to make it sound like. It's not at all. But I just didn't want to make it look worse for myself by posting anything or saying anything. And so basically, I was told that I have a lot going on in my real life as far as like my dad and the kids going back to school and all of that. And so that they thought that my energy and whatever would be best spent on focusing on that type of stuff. But in no way did they tell me not to say anything, not to post any, like whatever. Like, so I just told them that I was going to do my best to try to, ignore the bullshit and steer clear of it, which I still am. But that doesn't, I mean, that just means on what I'm speaking on, and what I'm not speaking on is going to be obviously limited to like this right now. But I'm not going to be like everybody else and make all these like scheduled lives to talk about people. And like, that was never my intention. Like, I'm just saying, I don't know. And by everyone wanting to like put names and titles and call people out, thank you for the attention. I really like it. But if you notice, I'm not giving you the same. So that's why your name is not in my title. That is why any names are barely spoken of, if at all. And that's why I don't reply to comments from these people. Like, talk to yourself if you want. And if you're going to be discussing enough, you're going to get reported, and then nobody's going to see it but you anyways. So
they're both so worried about losing their channels and starting over fresh, but keep putting these harassing titles with your name.
Seriously, like y'all, especially like certain people that have already like lost channels. Like, do you not know that it's like, hello, you've already lost channels. It's pretty easy to prove that you're like doing shit to continue to lose them when you've already lost them. Like, that's pretty like stupid. Like, I don't know. It's crazy. Everyone's they're drinking they're all drinking the Kool-Aid. They all drink the Kool-Aid. Which is fucking weird. Because does nobody else feel like, oh my God. Does nobody else feel like a man in his 50s should not be fucking on the internet harassing and talking to talking to women in such a disgusting bitch-like way? I mean, it just, to me, it's like screams, I'm a bitch. Like,
I don't know a single man.
Bitches.
Yeah, I don't know a single man, and I would sure as hell wouldn't associate with one that talks to any female like that.
Seriously, I don't understand. But the fact that so many people continue to give him a pass, I don't get it. Because that's really where I went left in the first place. I was, once he was in the halfway house and able to talk more openly and freely, and I was able to start seeing like the way things really were. I didn't like it, and I was not. Yeah, that's why he talks about like he wants to talk about all the time about me. I always hung up on him because I didn't. I'm not gonna. For one thing, I'm not gonna sit there and let somebody yell at me. So the fact that everybody thinks from the conversation I had on the phone with her, because I was obviously like upset in that moment, I've never had a conversation like that with him. I've never talked like, so to say that I talk over him and I'm loud and all these, like, that never happened because it never got to that point.
That whole conversation.
I hung up the phone. I wish I recorded. He said I recorded it because I literally said, "Hold on, let me." I thought my headphones were connected and they weren't when I answered the phone. And I said, "Hold on, let me turn my headphones on." And then I turned my headphones on and it connected. And then I guess because of that, he said I was recording the phone call because he heard it click or something. I don't know. But I literally said, I'm turning my fucking headphones on. Hold on. Anyway, so whatever, he thinks I'm recording the phone call. I fucking wish I would have after the bullshit, like, so people could have heard how it really went. Like, because I hung up and then that's when he sent me my social security number. But you were already yelling at me. So to make it like you were trying to tell me to stop, then nowhere was it ever said I posted the text messages. Did he ever ask me to stop? And I barely texted him at all. I didn't want to. Like, even when Mindy was trying to get me to talk to him about making the shirts, like, at first I put that off. Like, I didn't want to be involved. Like, everybody keeps trying to act like I was trying to get close to him. And are you out your motherfucking mind? Like, first off, how old is he and whatever? Like, My boyfriend is 9 years younger than me, baby. You think I'm really just gonna go that much older than me?
Gross.
Fucking out your fucking mind. It isn't happening, okay? Thank you. I'm just saying, that's crazy. Like, yes, I'm gonna go from my 30-year-old boyfriend to a 50-year-old fucking.
Unemployed.
I'm gonna be nice right now and not say the things I'm thinking. Okay, I was trying to read the chat a little bit.
Well, not only that, but he goes from
Wait.
thanking
And
you.
someone kept trying to get on my YouTube, and I'm nobody, huh? What? They're sick. Keep on.
That was when we were talking about like identity and social security
Oh,
and numbers.
but did she mean from this situation or like just in general?
I think in general.
Okay, because I've had stuff happen to me since all this that was fucking weird. And I think really was someone trying to fuck with me, like, or trying to get into shit or trying to figure out something. Because there's like been stuff that like, someone was trying to get into like my iCloud and all of this, like with, I guess, like with my phone number or something maybe. And I don't have Apple. So you get what I'm saying? And so it's
Yep.
shit about my iCloud. And I'm like, I don't even like, no, nope, doesn't even make no sense. But it was like, I don't think it was somebody over in like, where is it that people usually do that? Like, give me a country, because I was gonna say a country, but I wasn't even sure. Like, you know, where they like be like, it says the weirdest places, like when it tells you that they're trying to do it. Like,
Yeah.
I can't think of it. Like Turkey. Actually, I think that I did get one that was something like that, like in Turkey or somewhere like that. But another one recently, that was what I was gonna say, was they were trying to get into like my Gmail or something. And obviously everyone had that and at that point. And so I was like, it was something that was not just a random person. It was somebody intentionally trying to get in my shit. And like I have like two-factor, whatever it's called, two-factor auto, whatever. I have like all the extra stuff set up usually on most of everything. Like not even intentionally for that reason, but I'm glad I do. Like, so usually it tells me and has to send codes and do all the things before it lets anything, even to half my shit. Like it'll be the same device, the same computer, same phone, whatever, and it still always tells me it's a new device and to do whatever.
That's why I like my iPhone. It saves all that for me.
Yeah. No, I mean it does. It usually does, but what I'm saying is like certain websites or whatever, like I feel like it still like never recognizes anything. It still always wants to make me, and I'm like, I don't remember the password for this one. Like if it didn't save it.
Yeah.
Oh, she said I guess she hit hide on something. I didn't see it. Oh, it would probably show up here, huh? Oh. She said they're softer than baby shit too. Oh. I was just trying to read it to get caught up. No, they do. Yes. Okay. So them thinking they're famous is the fucking funniest thing, because when the picture was posted of Mindy I saw earlier in the Reddit, it said something about the fan base.
Yeah.
It said needing to update the fan base. And I was like, first off, it was creepy as fuck. She was probably mad. I mean, I know some people think it was staged. She was probably mad when she woke up and found out he posted a picture of her sleeping without her knowing about it. Swear to God. I didn't think it was staged. I thought, how fucking creepy. How fucking creepy.
I think they probably took the message to send to Jessica. Or took the picture to send to her.
I mean,
Like
it's possible, but I feel like
that's how immature they are.
but if that's it, it was creepy. It didn't hit the way they wanted it to. It was creepy. It was fucking creepy. Because that means you're posting it, you're taking it and posting it while she's sleeping without her knowing, or like without her permit. Like, that's fucking weird.
Well, did you see the message
Posting a picture of anyone sleeping, like, I mean, I don't know. I feel like in most situations that comes off fucking weird.
Did you see the message that Mindy tried to post to Reddit that got the spam filtered out? That said, like, oh, I'm friends with her. I can't say who I am because she posted this to Facebook 2 hours ago, and it was a Chicago like weather app screen, like saying that her location was in Chicago, and like, But then there's
Oh
like,
my God. What's funny is though is that most people probably don't realize, like, because they don't, a lot of people I feel like haven't seen like those dirty.com things. And so a lot of people probably don't put the fact that she likes to go back and forth like that. Um, they don't realize that. So a lot of people probably wouldn't realize that that is like on point with past behavior.
yeah.
For sure. No, seriously, yes, Melissa. Melissa said, I can assure you Jessica's laughing at that shit. Who wouldn't? She keeps fucking around with the ex-boyfriend. Like, seriously. Like, I don't know. And I don't know. I know she had said before
She feels
that she
special
would.
being in all of Jessica's ex's beds.
Well, I know that she had said before that she was like a little bit scared to be around Jason. Like he would force himself on her or something, is the way that she insinuated it. So for her to be there is a little bit crazy, honestly, because I feel like she has made it sound like it was a little bit more aggressively said. And so yeah, she, the fact that she's there and putting her, I don't know, maybe she doing their little lives or whatever recently, maybe she was able to get more comfortable around him or whatever, but before that, I'm just saying she was low-key afraid to be around him, regardless what she says publicly. So
Wanting to go from Adam to him, like, oh god.
I know, and I mean, from all of them that, from like all of them that I've seen, I'm sure there's a lot we haven't seen. But I mean, I feel like Adam is one of the more attractive out of like what we have seen. Um, so I don't know why he's so stupid.
Well, drugs make you do crazy shit.
I know, which is a weird thing to me because remember she went on and on about how he's not whatever, and that's why she felt so bad that one day, and she hadn't used anymore because of that, because he was in there sober and she blah blah. You know what I'm talking about? Like I feel like I don't want to go into like all the detail about the blah 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 and the blah blah blah. But
Yeah.
anyway, so she makes it sound like that. I don't know. I do know when I looked up his information, I do know when I looked up his information, you know, what is publicly available, that one of his previous addresses was at like looked like either like a halfway house type place or a rehab type place or something like that. It was seemed like a something like that, and it was listed as one of his last addresses. So
Really?
I mean, he's been in some kind of trouble or something in the past. So he isn't 100% clean. So, just saying, there was something. I'm not going to speak on it because I don't know. I don't know for sure what it was or wasn't. There was just something. So, yeah. And how interesting though that everyone was threatening to call CPS on him with his kids for her being there, and then
That's
she
what I
leaves
was
to go
just
somewhere
gonna
else.
say.
Yeah. See, I'm checking your cameras again. I'm just kidding. I was telling my boyfriend and my kids that last night. I was like, yeah, my friend, she always tells me, like I'll ask her like, hey, did you see this or did you watch that video? And you'll be like, stop checking my cameras. So yeah, I was checking her cameras. Anyway, no, yeah, that situation. She moved there and then came back and then called them and then left again and then I think my kids are arguing with each other. I keep trying to click show. I hope I'm okay. I was about to say, I hope I'm like not missing anything. I'm also missing probably a lot of stuff in the chat. I keep trying to check it, but I start talking and then I can't like do both, and then I get distracted, and then
I can't. The best entertainment I've had in a long time is her comment section today. That does not disappoint.
I know. I looked earlier after I don't know why. So I really haven't been trying to like look or see anything. I don't want to be triggered to respond because I'm really been like trying not to, like I'm not clearly like somebody said earlier that I can, not like respond to it, but not let them bully me into being quiet either. And so that's kind of like, I'm not necessarily not talking about any of it, but at the same time, I'm not trying to like see any of it to be triggered to respond to it either. But then obviously after I saw what was happening this morning and since then, like I had looked earlier, and I had seen a few, I don't think it wasn't popping yet really. I think it had only been there for a few hours and everybody was just realizing what was happening. And so I haven't been back over there to see, but I already knew that the ones that still, like, for whatever reason, give him a pass, are all going to be mad now.
Yeah.
So it was only going to, like, it's like, just like whatever happened on Reddit earlier about him starting his own one or whatever the situation had happened.
They want to keep saying like, "Oh, Reddit keeps talking about me. Reddit keeps talking about us," but then Jason's the one posting to Reddit.
She said, Melissa said why Adam got in trouble was probably for picking up hookers like Mindy.
Probably.
Oh, that's funny. She said, I wonder when Amanda is going to make her next appearance. I know she is flipping shit. Where
Probably
is
in the bushes
Jason
right
said
now.
she hasn't. Jason said he hasn't talked to her since then. But it's weird to me that she went from 100 to 0. She went from 0 to 100, and then from
But
100 to 0. And so, like,
Jason also admitted that he was keeping her quiet, giving her drugs.
oh, yeah.
So I wonder if that's
That
going
seems
on
like that
again.
would only aggravate it more and make her be even more like uh, irrational. That's the word that they keep using for me that I'm like so not understanding where anything has been irrational over the last like week or so. Like they keep in my comments, they keep saying that I'm just getting more and more irrational, and I'm just trying to figure out where that was at because I missed that
Yeah,
part.
I would definitely message Amanda, check on her.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
if it's the same, she seems to change it a lot. Like a
Yeah.
lot. But I will say, I do believe somebody says she's fine. She talked to her today. Mia said she's fine. She talked to her today. I do think they are in some of her accounts and stuff, 100%.
Oh yeah, they're
So,
definitely messing with her.
and that could be anyone, to be honest, because they did when Jason went to jail. One of his, obviously his phone was left behind. So I think it could be either or both sides being in some of her accounts and some of her stuff. But I would lean more towards, especially since she's been around Jason recently, he probably definitely has been in her stuff. And I feel like that phone call the other day was either meant to look like that's what that was about or something. Because
I don't think
that was my first thought, was because she was saying that whoever had been logging in her account, nothing had happened with it, but it was like logins. And they were trying to make it sound like it was her doing it, which obviously you would know if you were doing it, but that supposedly it was her doing it and she wasn't realizing that every time she was checking it, it was showing it, and that's what she was looking at. And so I think that probably was what that phone call was about, and whether or not to. And everybody says, "Oh, well, she don't have." Well, like I'm sure, like money is put into whatever from like her like parents, or I don't know. I don't know. Nobody's business. I'm just saying, like she was worried about it for a reason, and then that conversation was weird.
yeah. Definitely seemed intentional to get some kind
No,
of suspicion going. Like they're not that dumb to put that out on accident.
yeah, and I think so. I saw one night on Reddit when she was like going off or whatever. Whoever it was that was messaging her saying the things about Jason, about them messing with Jason or whatever, was definitely him or someone very close fucking with her. That
Yeah.
account had already been accused of being Jason before.
Yep.
So whoever that was, it was all like intentionally trying to get her on there doing what she was doing to make her look a type of way. So once I saw that, which I had already tried to say, Jason tried to say something to me, and I was in the comments on one of the lives that maybe it was the three of them were on live or something back before everything happened. And I had said something about the others being in that other phone of the ex-girlfriend. And I said, so they definitely could be or could have been in those whatever. And he said something to me, like he was on live, I was in the chat, and he said something to me about, oh, don't tell her that, don't put that in her head, don't whatever. Like he tried to like not he tried to basically like call me out for like saying it was very possible that people could be like, he acted like she was just crazy and I was just believing her being crazy. And then I see it happen, and I'm like, yeah, see, like I knew better. Like I knew that that's what it, yeah. And she said, crazy making it called abuse tactic.
Well, not only, but that when Jason posted the messages that he was sending and getting their messages back and forth, why was he blacking out some of the messages that he sent her? Like he was clearly trying to antagonize her and get her to respond crazy. Like why not
Another
show the
thing,
whole
I
message?
was gonna say that too, not that, but I was gonna say it's funny how a lot of people try to call me out about posting messages. Like I've never felt any kind of way about posting messages. I don't care if people believe other than that or not other than that. Like don't.
He
I mean,
showed every email and text message. Come on,
yes, he
no.
did that, but not only that, then now he's on his YouTube. He has text messages like between me and him and Amanda and like everybody. So why does everybody have a problem when I show messages, but he shows all the emails, all the text messages, all the whatever, and that's cool.
Yep.
Just another example of how like everybody wants to do things one way, and then when it's done against them, like no, it don't fly. So I don't know, but also that the thing about blocking out the messages. That's like he still keeps going on and on about he has all our messages. I've already showed all that. There really wasn't nothing. Like at first he said emails, text messages, all like I've never emailed any like none of you. I don't know what the fuck like why that was even thrown in there. Are you gonna fake one or something? You gonna fake something and say I did it? Because I didn't never email you. Not one time. So the fact that you even threw that out there knowing that was kind of suspicious. Anyways,
Yeah.
and then I've already showed everything there is to show. Like why y'all keep talking about rocks and all these other things. Like a trail has nothing to do with a fucking rock. And again, all of this, like, why are we even talking about any of this? Like, I fucking like wish I was never even involved with any of that. It's stupid.
They're
It's
the ones talking about hacking an IP from a YouTube comment.
seriously.
But then
And
want to call you crazy for doing an image reverse image search.
which is like seriously, the simple like I feel like 80% of people like know how to do that. I'm sorry that you don't, and you act like that means it's like a huge thing. It's not. I mean, yes,
It's more.
I did do a little bit of work because I had to edit the picture so it was just the trail and nothing else. So I did have to do a little bit of work, but still.
Sending you your address and social security number is a lot creepier than doing a reverse image search. Just saying.
Yeah. Did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Not doing it. See, that's the thing. That's what I was trying to say earlier. Is I'm not going to address directly, talk about like anything or any. I'm not like I'm not. It's a waste of time. Like especially when I've seen the way things are lied about and manipulated and made up and twisted, and like there's zero point. The 0 point in doing that. Yeah. And I didn't. I just that was just a. I don't know. I think that was a tomorrow. I think that was today going to tomorrow too. I don't know. I think I just put. What did I put? No, that was how long is that? 5 minutes.
I missed it.
Oh, you didn't see?
No.
I thought you
I
could
have
still
two
see it.
phones.
You can't see it now?
Um,
Because I wasn't even going to address it, but I wanted to make sure that you've seen it.
just tell me later.
Someone was trying to come up on live
Oh,
in the chat.
irrelevant.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. Because I feel like it's pointless. I feel like that's like somebody said something. I'm trying to think. It was like in my comments a couple days ago. And they were like, speaking on both, I'm trying to think exactly what they said. Because one was about one person and one was about the other. And they were like basically like trying to say call a truce, but I think that was with Tara. And I was like, I don't care enough about it to like, no. And then the other comment was on something else, and it was about like us just talking or something. And I was just like, there's no point. Like
Right.
that door has like been closed and moved up. Like I want nothing to do with any of that situation, period. I'm speaking on it from moving past that I'm not going backwards. So just saying there's no reason for me to speak to, address, like comment on, reply to, nothing. I keep
Not
everything
even worth your
over here in
time.
my little bubble, and that's what I'm gonna do. And I don't have to address or speak to or give anybody a fucking
No
5
matter
seconds.
what you do, they're going to talk about you anyway and bring you up every conversation every 5 minutes just because they have nothing better to talk about.
But that's what I told that caseworker. I was like, so, but really what I feel like was like, I don't want to address it. I don't want to talk about, I don't want to, keep putting myself in the situation. But at the same time, I could say nothing for months and then come back and talk about something totally different. And they're all just that's what they do. Like everybody has watched this happen with several people multiple times. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? And if you don't come like crawling back and kissing ass and doing all the things, then it's always going to be that way. And I'm not going to do that. So it's always going to be that way. And so it was almost like if I don't just, not let them keep, I don't know how to explain it. Like doing nothing doesn't help either. So
Yep.
it was
Damned if
almost
you
like
do, damned if you don't.
just don't address them or reply or whatever. But at the same time, I can still speak on whatever I want to. She's really running me. None of it has been. The things that have like, if some of the stuff, I wish I could see some of it that I have reported. Like I've left some comments and whatever, but I've reported a lot over the last few days and probably over the last like 72 hours that are just repeating the lies over and over, like just trying to, and it won't even be about nothing. Like the comment will be on something that doesn't even have to do with what the comment is saying. Like, and it's
Yeah.
just to like bash and talk shit, like, and like threaten, and it's disgusting behavior continuously. And eventually, like, you would think they do something after you report it like enough, but apparently they don't. Like, I feel like at some point they have to take it seriously when you just keep reporting and reporting, especially when you're like putting like the information. Like I don't know. It's crazy.
I think it will catch up to them. It will.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, and that's why I really don't really block people, because I like to let them like everyone's actions speak for themselves pretty much. And so that's why in my comments and whatever, I'm like, well, I mean, that's like one person I told them that they could keep talking to themselves or whatever, because it's like literally it's gonna, I mean, you tell on yourself. Like if you pay attention to, I mean, and especially with it being on the internet, you can pay attention to what people say and then like what they show you and then what they do, kind of like it's just a little bit different. But it's like you just have to pay attention that they show you in whatever way, like usually through comments for the most part, like who they are. And like I've said, I don't go anywhere and comment. Even when I was like watching doing whatever, like I didn't ever comment like negative shit. Like there's in my mind, there's no reason to like just go around spreading hateful, negative shit. Like for what? Like that makes you feel better? Like I just have never done that. And so when people do that, like I don't care about like deleting it or like leaving it. Like I don't. I leave it because I feel like it shows you and your like character and like how disgusting you are. So I feel like when people do that, they may think like it's like hurting my feelings or it's really not because like it's not about me. That's like your problem, you know, like that's your
Everything they say is a big game of telephone, but because by the time it gets repeated back to you, it's been twisted and like different versions and shit added to it, and just a whole different story by the time every other person tells it.
yeah, well, just like all of this, like I know you've watched for sure that it go from one thing to the next thing to the next thing to the next thing to the next thing, like to the point that it's not even what it started out like. For one thing, it's not even what happened in the first place. But then it's not even what started out as like the lie or the story of what happened. Like when the whole situation happened and whatever with uh the what is it, welfare check or whatever. I think it was like the end of May. I don't remember exact date, but I feel like it's like the last week of May. Anyways, so like I know that you have seen all of it like twist from one thing to the next thing to the next thing, and then all this shit get added onto it, and it's not none
Yep.
of it is even like, and then to back it up, send things like saying like the text message that literally says the opposite of what you're wanting it to say, and circle that and say that that's what it says, and it's like, but make that make sense. I don't know. It's just crazy. But everybody believes it and falls for it. Like nobody, and I feel like to me, I feel like we learned the critical thinking in like probably like kindergarten, maybe. Like first grade. I don't know. I feel like we learned to think like use critical thinking skills for like to think for ourselves, and like just because someone tells you that that thing is green doesn't mean that it's really green. Like you might want to make sure that it's actually green. You know, I feel like we learned that pretty early on in life, but it feels like a lot of these people like lack that, or they need like a refresher course or something.
Yeah. Well, when someone's such a proud, like she's, I'm such a proud master manipulator, why would you take anything she says as facts? Like
Yeah.
I-
No,
it
but
gets me
after she literally
dumbfounded.
and like brags about it, and I mean, I've seen. I haven't read the whole like whatever what's it called, like the whatever psychological evaluation thing. I've seen it, but I haven't like read it, so I don't know what it says. But I don't remember seeing that. Like I don't remember seeing that like it saying like to that degree. I mean, I don't know. I guess I should go
Well,
read it and see what it says, huh?
I think seeing that dirty.com, that whole page on her, that alone, like that was 15 years ago, and she
And it's
still does.
identical. It's the
Yes,
exact same shit.
the
Exact same shit.
comebacks, the insults, the every single thing on there is exactly, so she has not literally grown up.
No. I
Like
wish
that's
I
so
had.
embarrassing.
I wish I could pull that up and show it. I need to do. I need to add it together to like a slideshow or something. I need to like because it's all it's all just pictures, and so I would have to like
Yeah.
instead of
I wish it
clicking on
was
each one to read it, like I have to like add it all together. But I really wish I had that to where I could click it and read some of it right now without having to go. Like I mean, I could just like, but no, I meant like pull it up
it'd
for
be
people to see it.
it'd be better to, because it's so choppy, it'd be better to edit it. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, because I could.
But
I could just like, email up and read some of them.
that is
Uh,
so damning to her character, and it's
it is.
hilarious.
Have any of y'all seen the? It's on TikTok. What is the name?
The stamp with the
Something the
ink,
calculator.
they took the stamp, they put it in the ink.
Yeah, that. Yeah, and they stamped it. Don't forget to stamp it. Anyways, what is that human calculator on TikTok? Has anyone seen that video on TikTok with human calculator is the name of the TikTok account? And it has all these, they look like messages or so it's what she has talked about, the dirty.com. So that website was, I guess, like a site that people like used to like bully people kind of. And so I guess eventually it was kind of like
No,
taken
it's
down. But
Amber.
it's
It's a
not.
site for pretty girls.
Oh, is
It's
that
a
what she
site.
said?
It's a site for
It's not.
pretty girls to get hated.
It's a site that people posted girls that I think slept with like
We're being called out.
boyfriends and yeah, that type of shit. Like posts.
Yeah.
Anyways, so but the website was like ordered to be removed pretty much. But now they're on Instagram and Facebook and like now they post the pictures on like social media. But so like there's still a website. I'm not sure how to get to it. When I try to go through it through Google, apparently I guess like Google has it blocked so you can't go to it. But anyways, so like all the stuff is from that website, but you can't like go like get to it to look at it now. So yeah. Anyways, but it's they had like posted the pictures of her where she talks about like with the what was it, hearts? Is it hearts on her boobs? And so you can see
Yeah.
them make the hearts. Yeah. Anyways, so whatever she talked about, it has like those pictures, and then there's like all these comments on those pictures. And then so all the comments on the pictures are people talking shit about her. And she bragged about this like it was something to be proud
It was
of when she talked about
68 pages of comments talking shit about her. Not just
it.
68 pages.
But it starts in 2009, and then I feel like the last I saw was like maybe like 2017 or something, right?
Yeah, something
I
like
don't.
that.
So it was like there would be like long breaks in between when anyone would comment on it. And so some of them would be like years in between the comments or whatever. And so, but I mean, there would be a few in there like defending her, like saying they know her or whatever. But a lot of people, I think, thought those were her pretending to be other people.
Oh,
And
without a doubt.
and there were some that were for sure her pretending to be other people. Like you could totally tell. But it's just interesting the way she would reply to people is the same way that she like yells at her phone at people now. So it's just like and it's like 15 years ago. It's like it starts in like 2009, I think. And when she was pregnant with her son, exactly, because that's when our kids were born in the same year. Her son and my 14-year-old son were born in 2009. And so it starts when she was pregnant. And people had a lot to say about that. And her not knowing who the dad was and all the things. So, yeah.
I think
It's
that
a lot.
should be
I really wanted to like try to like edit it and put it to where I can like go like show it because right now it's just like all like in screenshots and then in like yeah, it's a lot like a big mess
I
right
think
now.
we
I would
should
have
try to find a way to see the actual, like, I wonder if, like, the way back.
I wish you could. You have to go in it like a back. You have to go in like a back door. Like I don't know what website, like or what browser you have to use a different. Like Google wouldn't let me look at it, so you have to use something that will let you. And I don't know what that means. Oh wait, I do. What is the one that you look up stuff that Google won't find?
Is it on the Wayback Machine, maybe?
No, I mean I don't know, but there's a browser that like is good to use to search things that aren't.
I don't know.
Oh, I just got the funniest text message. That bitch is watching. If anybody wants to say hello,
What?
she's watching.
Who is?
Mindy.
Oh, nasty skank.
Yeah, you should see she made fun of me. Oh my god, she made fun of me for sending a big long paragraph. She just sent a big long paragraph, so she must be really bothered right now because I'm not fucking reading that.
How sweet.
It. But
I think she's flirting with you, Amber.
Yeah. Oh, because I like I'm like so obsessed, right? But yet, like, really, like he's trying to come talk. Like, who wants to hear anything? Like, clearly nobody over here wants to hear anything he has to say. Like, seriously. And then now, because like they're together, if anybody wants to wave at them, they're watching you. Anyways, there's so much stuff. Sometimes I wish I could say things. Really do. But some things are better left
as a surprise.
shown and not told. Right? Some things are better left shown and not told.
Yep.
Because what do they say? I can show you better than I can tell you, right? I think that's this type of situation. It's just sad that the only person that really is going to be like really affected isn't somebody that's like directly, you know what I mean? Because she is directly, but she is not directly. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
It just sucks that it won't like, fall back anywhere but there. Just saying. Anyways, but once all this is done with my situation, I guess we'll see where that can go, because I really feel like there's enough proof that something should be able to be done. For the last 15 years to be such a false report making, like they have to have like a record of that, like somehow.
I'm sure they can.
Yeah. So I just can't wait for that, because that was literally when I talked to him that day. That's literally was one of the things I mentioned, and he said that was very like a very very smart thing to do, is to look into that. But again, we talked about it would be best for me to have the proof when it's all over with, like rather than like now when it's just
Well, not only that, but I know for having you can actually get in trouble for making false claims. Like they're not going to take her seriously for long.
right. That's what I'm saying. But so once it's all like closed and completely done, I feel like it would be easier to like prove that that's what
You can
happened.
you
Then
can
there's all the
actually
proof that it's been like, this isn't like the first time, first situation, first person. I'm sure that there is a way to see if she was involved in calling them on her, or like
you can actually file harassment charges too when it comes back unfounded.
yeah. She said we can't wait for the timeline. It's like Tracy 2.0 Schmindy edition, like how Tracy was with the Jessica stuff. So yeah, no, and it's crazy, to be honest. Here's the thing, is I think she thinks because it's all like pretty much like been the truth in some sort of like, even just the smallest, way. Like, even if there's a bunch of stuff, I feel like that's the biggest thing, is everybody likes to take this little piece of a truth and then like spread it into this bigger story to make it like more interesting. And so, but at the end of the day, they can still say, but there's this piece of truth to it, so it's still the truth. You get what I mean?
They got bored with Jessica, so they needed content, they needed entertainment, so they jumped to you.
Yeah. But well, no, but I mean, like with her stories and like her stuff, like I feel like she takes like the smallest truth to it, like all of them, like Werner, Jessica, I feel like they all have the, like truth to whatever story it is, like from the prison, so like whatever. I feel like they're like, they'll start with like a piece of the truth, and then add on to that, so that way like it's still, at the end of the day, they can say, but no, it's still the truth. You get what I'm saying? Because there's still truth to it. And so I feel like that's where she's like trying to come from, because whatever story, there is truth to it, but the way that it has been told and the way that it really happened, like timing wise, really, I think is the biggest thing is she's made it to look like one way, so she's like not such a bad, horrible mom piece of shit, like whatever. And then what the real situation is opposite of how she wants it to look. Even with her own
Right.
words, obviously, like that video of her saying that she got pregnant with both her own words in the video. She said
Yep.
she got pregnant with both of her
Wants
younger
to
daughters and
make a
acted
big
ridiculous.
deal about Jessica saying that she was pregnant when she got arrested, and here she went through 2 full pregnancies addicted.
Yes, she said, I feel like she has people to do her dirty work for her though, like her little cult meetings. Yes, because she gets on and tells everybody how much she loves them. And, you know, if somebody hasn't been around in a little while, like, then she checks on them and pretends like she cares. And she does all the
Yeah.
things so that they can watch all the lives and tell her what happened, or do all
She'll
of
love
the hard lifting and then come tell her about it. But then they'll tell her whatever, and then she doesn't fact check any of it or make sure any of it's for real. She just like starts saying shit, and none of it is even like what happened. I'm like, but did you even watch it? Like, did you even see that yourself, or are you just repeating it? Like, I've said that so many times, like
as
before
long
and
as you
after the whole situation.
as long as they're sending her that $41, she loves them.
No, yes, absolutely, Melissa. Like, none of it. No, it's because that's like the product of prison. Where's all the modeling pictures? No, there has to be proof of some of the stuff. I've seen like 1 or 2 pictures, and they were like, I don't know, I don't know. But then some of that story doesn't even make sense either, because her grandparents took her, but then like the time frame of that, and then when she supposedly was started modeling, like some of that stuff doesn't even add up either. So
Oh no.
and I mean,
That
cool,
her
maybe
her
you
grand
remember things in the right, like, I mean, not everybody is really good at remembering like time frame, especially, here's the thing, especially when it comes to like certain traumatic things and whatever. Like, I understand like not remembering like details about like dates and times and that stuff, because there are things that I don't like remember specific details, but I feel like it's because I don't want to, maybe. Like, so I get that, but for the most part, because I've seen some people say, oh, you know what time you went to jail, or you know you this, or you know that. And there's like certain situations that I was in that I feel like if I try really hard to remember, I maybe could, but I would probably have to go look and find that information somewhere, because I feel like I don't remember it, and it's probably because it wasn't something that I really like wanted to remember.
but you're not the one trying to convince everyone and tell
Right,
your story.
right. She said Tracy got a lot wrong. I was in the same prison as JK was in. Tracy knows shit about prisons. Yeah. Oh, I don't think that's what she meant. I think she just meant like like when she got arrested and the charges and like the paperwork and like when her kids were born, and just like all of it doesn't
Oh,
make
what?
sense with what she's told people. And so it's because Megan was
No,
saying,
I was saying like when she was like trying to like what what Jessica did or didn't remember, if she said or didn't say this or that, but for Mindy to drag her for as long as she has, when here Mindy has no room to talk about any of that, like she had no room to talk or to judge if it was or wasn't the truth. And it's
right. Melissa said, do you know how many times I told the cops I was pregnant? You know what's really funny is that the first time I went to jail, I was pregnant. I was pregnant. Like the first time I went to jail, I was pregnant. And so I was like 3 or 4, I don't know. I was visibly pregnant, but not like super pregnant. And so, and at that time, I had like a lot of traffic tickets, or like a lot of, it wasn't like charges or anything. It was like stuff that was like fines, basically. And so I was like, fuck it, I'm pregnant. I might as well just sit these bitches out instead of try to pay some money, right? And so I did. I just set them out, and so that's why, like, I can speak from knowing going into jail being pregnant. I can speak to that a little bit, but it was also, I was only in county jail and I was only there like 2 weeks. So I can speak to that a little bit, but at the same time, that was also my first time going to jail. So it was a little bit of a crazy experience. Kinder said, what I have a few videos on my channel about like a time or two I went to jail, but I've been to jail a few times in a few different counties, like all in like the same area. So like it's crazy. There's probably like 5 different counties, and I've been in a couple of them more than once. But it's always been for like traffic tickets, or I got in trouble for stuff because of my ex-husband, and then it would get dropped because I really didn't have anything to do with it or know about it. Like, but because say he stole one time, he stole a 4-wheeler, and my name was on the lease also, and I didn't know it was there until like the day before the cops came or something. And as soon as I saw that it was outside, I was like, that shit got to go. That can't be here. You got it, something. And so then the next day, the cops were knocking on the door. And I didn't answer it because I was scared. And so they just took it. And I was like, okay, cool. Maybe that's it. But no, then we got pulled over. Not too long after that, we were moving from there. And we got pulled over. And I went to jail for having a warrant for theft over however much. It was a felony theft charge for this 4-wheeler that I had nothing to do with, didn't even know it was there until the day before. And thankfully, like we were able to like pay whatever money for like the attorney fees or whatever. And he pled guilty, and they dropped the charges against me because I really did not have several situations like that. I was in situations several times that I got in trouble literally just because of my ex-husband. One time he ran and they took me to jail. That was a pretty traumatic experience. They took me to jail for felony hindering apprehension of a known felon, which tell me how you hinder them apprehending him when he runs out the door. And then honestly, me and my kids hid in the closet because I was terrified, because I've had such bad experience getting in trouble for things that I shouldn't get in trouble for, that I literally didn't have anything to do with. And so I hid. I was scared. And then they threatened to shoot our dog. So I came out. And then they were like, okay, well, we're taking you to jail, because they couldn't catch him. They had kept trying to catch him, and he kept running. And so, anyways, they took me to jail and said, you have 5 minutes to call someone to come and get your kids, or call CVS. Thankfully, I was able to get my brother-in-law that has now passed away, able to get them at the time. And then he took them to my mother-in-law, and my ex-husband ended up there sometime while I sat in jail and had to wait to finally get my charges dropped, because it was like literally, I don't know how I apprehended anything when I got scared and hid in the closet. So, anyway. Who? Oh, she's talking about Kinergy, I guess. Or Neil. Oh, Neil. Neil, Mindy's ex Neil is up in the chat there. And I was just going to leave him up there. I was going to ignore it, but everybody else was talking about it. So I had to. She said, I've been pregnant in jail. And it's like, it did, because I didn't eat. And one of the places I was in, I can't talk. The place I was in jail that time is where my brother-in-law is in jail right now. And he's never been in jail there. And that's why I was like, the food is there is so bad. It's one of the worst. But I was in like the low risk facility. And so it was like a whole bunch of people in like one like tank area. So it was like bunk bed. So it was like a big open area. And so that's where I was when I was pregnant, was in this big open area. And with all these people, and a lot of people. And I swear they were like wrapped like on the floor. And so I was like, and I had to sleep on the bottom of it because I was pregnant, which I don't think I would want to just sleep on the top of it anyways. But there were some people that would sleep on the floor, and I would be like, how the fuck? Because they wouldn't want to climb up on the top. So they would just like pull their thing and put it on the floor at night. And anyways, and I'd be like, how, I don't like rats. I can't, I'm afraid they'll jump on me, touch me, like, whoop, I can't. So, no.
Wait, Neil's in here. Doesn't he have like a lawn to vacuum or something?
Probably. She said Neil, Mindy's dog. I mean, something like that. But yes, and then Kennergy's here too. And he was the one that asked me about me going to jail. Yeah, so I've been a few times, but it's always been to county. And I feel like every time was like a traumatic experience. Like I would miss my kid's birthday, or like something, and it was always really, and I was literally always like, my ex-husband would be like out running the streets and acting stupid and doing all that, and I would be like trying to work and take care of my kids and do like the right shit that I'm supposed to be doing, and I would always get drug into some shit. And that's why, I mean, it took me so long to get away from him, obviously, but then I left, and a month later he went to jail and then got the federal charges he had, um, which were basically like the same as all like everybody else's, as far as like Mindy and Jason and all the rest of them that have had the federal stuff. Like, so I kind of can like speak with a little bit of knowledge on like some of the stuff, like when she talks about like the ghost stove and like his situation was a lot the same. And so that's why I feel like one day I do want to like better explain that, because I feel like people don't really explain it, understand it the way she explains it. Like I feel like people especially question her situation even more. And I'm not trying to like, like back up or confirm like whatever she's saying. I just want to explain it better because I feel like people don't understand what it means really. And so yeah. She said lawn vacuum.
I'm just picturing that goofy tweaker ass. He's vacuuming the lawns next to the dumpster that Mindy's in.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that she went in to find her mom and got stuck in there. That's awful. Like how I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know how I don't know. A lot of things that I've seen and read and whatever have said that wasn't that situation wasn't what she made it seem either. So I mean, that's not something anybody really has any proof or is able to really speak on, but supposedly she didn't start using until later unless people just didn't know that. I don't know. I can't speak to that for sure. I have no way of knowing what was true or what wasn't as far as that goes with her mom and that like situation or part of her life. I feel like nobody really has any way of knowing or if any of that's true or not true, because that obviously none of us were there for that. So
I definitely have my thoughts
I feel
on
like she
that one.
projects a lot. I feel like she projects a lot of her situation with her kids
Oh,
onto
yes.
her with her mom. So I wonder how much of it is really like the things that she's went through with her kids, and then she, like tries to spin it like that sort. I don't know. I feel like
But,
a
like,
lot of it is definitely like projection into things that have happened with her.
that video, her saying that she couldn't be a mom because she never had a mom. Like, what kind of bullshit is that?
Good night, Isabel. Sorry, I don't. Oh, that was been a few minutes, so I don't know if she's still in here. Good night. She was saying bye, and I feel like I'm horrible about like reading and responding. So when I see stuff, I try to like say it. Yeah, but apparently, what threat did I make though? Because that's what he had said up there was something about following through on my threat. I mean, I don't
So
think
the world can be a better place. Something. I won't even address that one with him.
um, she said she acts like it was the dirty and not the prostitute side. Oh, I guess did they? I guess they hid him. Or no, there he is. Um, you should follow through with your threats. Make the world a better place. Oh, I get it. I thought I get what he's trying to say.
Yep.
Second, no, that took me a second because I thought he was trying to say,
That's how I read it at first too.
how the fuck is he even? How is he even defending her though? Like, I don't.
Wasn't she? Didn't she just cuss him out too? Like, he's another person
Like,
that
what
she.
she had like talked to about and like shit. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. Because I'm pretty sure, like, because she likes to, like, put you on hold and then add you to phone calls when you're on the phone with her. And I'm pretty sure she did that to me with him one day when he was picking up her Adderall from the pharmacy. So if he really wants to go there, we can. Because I remember how many she told you to keep for picking him up. Just saying.
How nice of her to share. Did you know
Seriously.
it's actually a crime to receive prescription drugs, not just selling them?
Really?
Yeah.
I can imagine so because they're controlled for research.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lacey, that's what I was talking about none of that being true with her mom. But that, I mean, I've seen one person say that supposedly knew her from like childhood or something up to like through school. But I mean, you obviously have to take everything and everyone with a grain of salt. So I don't know that just because they say that's true or fact. And like, that's why I said there's really no way for any of us to ever really know what was true or not true with all of that. Because, I mean, someone's like childhood and the things they go through when they, I mean, it's hard to question people on that. You know what I mean? Unless like you've been around or seen them, or, like, so it's really hard to try to prove that or disprove that when it comes to any of that. So that's why I've mentioned it, but at the same time, I know that there's really not any reason to talk about it really because there's not any way to say it did or didn't. Jesus, sharing and giving. Her mom, wasn't she a police officer or something?
Yeah.
She said, my mom is insane, horrible person that has done horrible things to me. My kids are awesome. I'm not perfect, but I try and I admit when I'm wrong. Same, same. Well, maybe not. Like, I don't know. Me and my mom definitely have a strange relationship, and we have had times where we did not talk, and we have gotten into it, and I feel like I don't know. I feel like you blame your parents for things. I don't know. I don't know. You blame your parents for a lot of things because obviously they caused a lot of things, either way, whether you grew up in like a good household or bad, whatever, like your parents still like were the ones that made the decisions that led your life in whatever way they led, you know what I mean? And so I feel like even if you had like a normal whatever, I feel like you're still going to have some kind of like issues with the way that your parents chose to do things or whatever, because I don't know, do you get what I'm saying? Like, so I feel
Isn't
like my
there's
mom
also
with
the
her
website.
that type of stuff.
Have you seen there's a website where like a memorial website where she's like telling her mom that she
Oh
loves
yeah,
and misses her?
like that. She says her mom was so horrible she held a PP to all the drug dealers' heads, right? But she can't be caring, huh? Her sisters praise their mom. That story is such BS, Melissa. My grandparents raised me for the most part, but when I was with my mom, it was horrible. Um, I feel like my mom just always tries to put all her stuff on me or I don't know. For one thing, I feel like she taught me like all the wrong things to do, like as like a teenager. Like, I feel like when it was like the most, please stop streaming. I feel like when it was like the most like important years, instead of like showing me like to do the right things, she kind of showed me to do the wrong things.
Sounds like my mom too. My mom was like, "Oh, go get pierced, go get tattooed. You're only 15, go for it."
Well, mine was
You want
like all my friends were like older, and so when I was like a teenager, all my friends were allowed to like they were the adults basically, and because I would say they were all over 18 and I was under 18, and so it was like they were all allowed to be there or do whatever. Like I don't know because they were adults, I wasn't. Like I don't know how to explain it really. But so it was like my boyfriends like would always be there, or like I remember one time my boyfriend was like living with us and then we broke up. But it was like my friend and I didn't really think we should date, and I was like, oh, this one, whatever. And so like I felt like we did, and then it was a bad idea, and then we broke up, and then my parents let him stay there, and I was just like, how the fuck does that work? Just because y'all like him doesn't like how the fuck does that work? Like, and I think I was probably like 16, 17. Like I wasn't even, I mean, I was under 18 and he was a few years older. He was closer to 18, 19, maybe. I don't know. They weren't like much older. They were around my age, but over 18 and I was under 18. Anyways, and so, yeah. And also then like now I feel like she doesn't really talk to or communicate with anybody about anything. So she tries to dump everything on me all the time. And I always have a lot to go like that I'm dealing with and whatever. And for like the last probably at least 5 years, like I feel like both my mom and dad have been my responsibility. Whether that was because instead of working, she was helping me with the kids, or she was working for me while I was staying home with the kids when I had like my youngest and whatever. like she would go and work, like clean like the houses, businesses, whatever I had. At that time I had other people where like I'd hired people and all that. Like I had a lot more work back then. But anyways, and so she would work and I stayed home with the kids. And then it got like too hard for her to do as she got older. And then so she would stay with my youngest, and then I would work, whatever. So for like the last several years, I've been like responsible for like both of them, kind of. My dad's on disability, and then my mom helps me with the kids, and so then like I basically like take on that responsibility, and then so then like now he's going through all this, and so then I'm having to make sure he gets back and forth, and so then she likes to like trauma dump or whatever, like they're together nonstop, so all they do is argue, and then she wants to like tell me about it all, and I'm just like I can't like deal with all this when I'm like already have enough to deal with, and like basically being their caregiver on top of it, and so it gets hard because she don't have nobody to talk to about it, but at the same time I can't hear it and deal with it either.
I've had both of my parents live with me multiple times as an adult, and it's, oh my gosh, it is not fun.
Kennergy said you lived with your boyfriend at 16. So I didn't like, okay, so I had a long-term boyfriend before this, like what I was just talking about, and he was allowed to like stay over when I was like 16, but I think that was so I wasn't trying to like sneak out and like whatever. I don't know. I feel like my parents always tried to like make me stay home to do like if I was going to drink, not that they would like allow me to drink, but if I were going to drink, they would rather me be at home doing it. Do you get what I'm saying? And so I feel like they were not necessarily okay with stuff, but they would rather me be at home than out getting in trouble, or I don't know. So at that point, like, I think my boyfriend like stayed the night, and then the other one like I think was just like staying, and then we broke up. Like I don't think he was like living there, and then my parents let him like move into the other bedroom and like stay there. But so we weren't like dating when he like lived there, but I don't think it lasted very long either because I think I threw a fit, obviously. She said I doubt she can even make a fist with her arthritis skin. I don't know because she does punch her hand, like her palm of her hand all the time, doesn't she? I swear I've seen her do that. What? Yeah. Oh my god. Well, so the message was so crazy. Like I didn't read it, but it went on and on. It just like dogging me out, talking shit about every like how I look, the way I probably talk, the like literally every single thing that I guess she could think of off the top of her head. Her what do they call them? Like Indiisms or something. Anyways, it went on and on. So I could only imagine.
Remedialisms?
Homeliest. I think that was like one of the first. Homeliest, I think was one of the first words. I was like, she pulled out a dictionary for this one. She wanted to make sure she got them insults in. Because that's like all, it was like one long giant one.
She rubbed both of her brain cells together.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm telling you, she pulled out the dictionary. Or no, she just like the dictionary on her phone. Yeah. She went to the dictionary and said, give me words that are talking bad about someone. And then it just listed off some words and she started yelling those at me through the phone. She probably talks to text a bit and everything. Like yelled it at the phone. She said she was supposedly scared of Jason, but he brought her there. Make it make sense. Huh? I guess I never thought about that. Okay, so wait, did he bring her there? And then I'm confused.
He said he picked her up.
And left her there at the hotel. But then probably came back with Jessica. She thought it was just going to be Jessica, maybe?
Scared of Jason, but he was...
Like, she said the way her hands are always shaking. What I can't get over is like the way is she always sucking her lips because of the filler, or is that because of the drugs?
That drives me absolutely insane.
Me too. But I almost really laughed real hard when she was about to hit the Roku remote like it was a vape. That was pretty funny. I think she legit for a minute thought it was. And then she was like, wait. I mean, I don't know. She said because of pills.
It's not sober behavior. I will say that.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. That's been my biggest problem, I feel like, is that I obviously was really stupid in the decision making over the last year for, I mean, like, really, but really the last 6 months probably. And so me getting so involved was really, that was a mistake. And I know that. And I'm very aware of that. But at the same time, like, I know that I don't think that I was going to just like peacefully be able to walk away from any of that either. I know that it was going to be, um, there was going to be fallout no matter what. Like, I feel like nobody really like peacefully walks away from people like, or situations like this. I feel like it always ends up badly. And so I wish maybe I would have seen that before I got involved in the first place. But I'm just glad that I'm away from the situation and that I was able to like look back and see where I was wrong. And like I said earlier, I mean, it's embarrassing. It really is embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Like, to be so involved in something that really doesn't matter. And it's literally just because like people are really good at like messing with your head to the point that you like really don't question it. You know, you don't, I don't know. I feel like I knew better and I like, I don't know. It's just crazy because before I became friends with or started talking to her, I did not like her. There's actually lives that you can go back and look, and I was like talking so much shit in the comments of like before they all fell out and whatever. I feel like when it was like the going back and forth, I was really very vocal about how shady all that shit was. Like when she tried to go back and be on friend probation and all that, like, and then try to come back and uh try to get everybody to accept her back over on the Reddit before it got removed and all that. Like, I was very, that to me, it's like when someone shows you who they are, believe them. Well, that was it for me. I saw it and I believed it. And then when I was trying to mend things a little bit between Mindy and Tracy was when I like let my guard down a little, and I wish I wouldn't have. But I mean, it is what it is. And I'm just glad. I'm glad more damage wasn't done than was already done. Like, I'm glad more people, I mean, weren't hurt. Like, I feel like people were hurt, but I mean, it could have been worse.
Just look at everyone that she's thrown under the bus. Like, literally. Like, anyone that gets remotely close to her, she screws over and does everything she can to hurt and damage them.
Yeah. Well, because I feel like I mean, a lot of us have gone from watching it all happen from, I feel like for a lot of us, for me, I'm going to speak for myself, but for a lot of us, I feel like I'm speaking for, when all the videos started being posted with like about the Reese stuff or whatever, I feel like it's where a lot of people started paying attention and started feeling icky about it. And so I feel like then it was the videos calling Mindy out, and then everybody started feeling like pick the side or pick this side. And so obviously it looked like one thing that I feel like maybe it necessary. I don't know. That's a hard situation because I feel like there's a lot of truths to both sides of that. You get what I'm saying? But I feel like at the same time, there's a lot of lies to both sides of that because everyone's trying to make the other look like the bad guy and that whole thing. But anyways, I feel like that's when everybody started to, pick the side or this side. And then there was so much going back and forth. And so it's like you're like kind of believing all these little bits of information that you're getting without really a lot of like proof or evidence or whatever to any of it. Like everybody's just like, well, she said this and then she deleted it and then this and that. And like, I don't know. And so everybody, I feel like at that point really didn't want to like Jessica. So everybody jumped on wanting to defend Mindy because everybody didn't want to like Jessica. And so I feel like that's where it was able to be like manipulated and twisted so much into like what I thought things were, and now seeing it in a different way, I for sure 100% feel like Jason got out and saw Jessica with Reese and like was determined to fuck that up, cause the
Yep.
problem, then had to come in and save the day and save her from big bad Reese. So I feel like he had to be the bad guy and the hero at the same time. And then, I mean, that's why I feel like too, it was easier for me to kind of sympathize a little bit more for her once I was able to see who like him for the way he really is, and like whatever, hearing him talk and the way he like talks to people and like just all of it. Like I feel like it was easier for me to see it from like maybe I was like really wrong in the way that like I thought things were. Not that I'm, obviously nobody agrees with like the emails being, going on for the whole time, and nobody says any of that was okay. But I feel like it was all intentionally used to get it to the point that it got to.
Yep.
We'll go to the soil my ass. So a lot of us filled on that rabbit hole. Yeah, she said she was on Reese's eggplant, saying how wonderful he was. Then all of a sudden he wasn't, and she used him for Botox. She's so unstable. Yes, but that's the thing. Is like, how many times can someone tell you one thing and then turn around and tell you, "Oh, never mind. Don't listen to what I just said." Like, how many times can someone do that before
Yep.
you realize that they don't tell the truth? Like, that they twist it how they want it and then say, "But look over here, don't look over there." Like every time. I mean, I feel like there's so many things. Like that's the thing is, if anybody ever really took the time to like watch a lot of it back, like finding that video with her saying that or whatever, if anybody ever really took the time, like I bet like most of it contradicts itself. Like I mean,
Yep.
I that, but who wants to watch that? Who wants to watch that? That's why I still have so much stuff like on my phone and on my computer. I feel like I just need to delete, but it's like I feel like you have to go through and like some of it has to be. Well, I don't know. I feel like most of it really can just be deleted. I don't need to really watch like anything. But it's like having to go back and rewatch most of this stuff or listen to most of like just anything from any of these people involved at all. Anything I have recorded, anything. Like it's like I don't want to have to listen to it again or watch it again. Just quick, just delete, 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 delete. It's just too much.
I think she was just fueled by jealousy, and then she just is obsessed with it now. Like she won't let it go.
Yeah. It was all part of her game. The master plan. That's what Lacey said. It was all part of her game, and then Melissa said master plan. Um, I really feel like her master plan is made up on the spot as she goes. Just like the whole like lies like she breathes. I feel like it's like that.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just pretty much just chestnut checkers bitch. No, I know, but everybody else is playing Connect Four. I'd rather play Connect Four. That sounds a lot more fun to me than chess. I feel like I don't want to have to use my brain that hard. If I'm playing a
She
game,
couldn't.
like I
She
just
said
would
she doesn't know how to play chess.
no. I know somebody asked me the other day if I knew what game I was playing, and I said no, but I guess I'll learn. I mean, like whatever it is. Like I guess this is Connect Four. I mean, honestly, to me, I mean, some people might like chess, but to me, checkers and Connect Four sounds way better than chess.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I'm really trying to play a game, I don't want to think.
And how often she says that it's so corny and so old. Like come up with something new. Like quit being so repetitive every single day.
Oh my god, that was so funny. Mia said, "You know that cartoon Pinky and the Brain? That's Jason and Mindy, two rats.
Oh,
Oh my
it
god,
it is.
trying to take over the world, one horrible plan at a time." Like this one was not a good one. I feel like this one probably angered a lot of people, especially after supposedly, like, which I know it's not supposedly. I mean, supposedly, I didn't see it myself, but supposedly messages were sent to her daughter that she was coming, and then her daughter threatened to never speak to her again. So, especially
So
after
now,
that, the first time, now what? Now it's
now
okay.
she just doesn't care what her daughter says, like that.
Like seriously, she said, "Wait, stop the games."
You 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 have to do the dirty.com video like that for
I know,
everyone to see
because I
the
feel like it's
15-year-old
copy
insult.
paste. Copy paste.
At least do like a slideshow of the insults. Be like 15 years ago
I guess maybe
today.
they have grown. I mean, they have matured a little. The insults have matured a little from then to now, but I feel like it's basically like the same. The same type.
Matured into go fuck your mother.
Yes. Or what was the other one? About your ear and fuck what you. What did? How did it go? Put a dick in your ear and fuck what you heard. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. That one. I mean, I guess matured to that one. She said I meant skip the games, not stop the game. Oh my god. Oh, anyways, I guess I probably need to go. My kids are really not doing anything, but that's probably a problem. No, the
I didn't
two
even
little ones up in here will go, and then went back in there. But because they're not being like super loud and obnoxious for this amount of time, I probably should go see if they're in their choking out or anything. No, they would be loud about it. They would
just
definitely be loud about it.
just make sure you don't put any hands on them this time.
No, seriously. They're probably playing the Xbox. They like to play they have the TV and the Xbox in the same room, and they like play with each other. And it's so funny because they're only 4 and 6. So they play like Fortnite and like I don't know. I don't know what they play. I went there the other day and like you could hear people, and I was like, no, y'all need to turn that down. I don't want to hear none of the people because I can, I've heard in the past like them saying some crazy stuff on there, and so I was like, no, y'all need to turn that down because we don't want to hear nobody talking. Because they don't have mics or anything, so they're not like on there talking to nobody or anything. So they're just literally playing, but you can hear the other people talking. And so I was like, no, you're gonna have to turn that down because we're not just gonna listen to just random people talking. So yeah, they're but no, that one, the one that was messing with the other one, he's not here. He's at his friend's, and he was the one that was messaging me about his friend coming to spend the night, uh and I said maybe after Wednesday, like basically after I do the stuff that I have to do. And then he was like, so tomorrow, and I was like, no, tomorrow's Tuesday. He was like, oh.
It's
And I was,
summer, give him a break.
yeah, I was like, no, the day after Tuesday, that day. Anyway, so yeah, he's not here right now, but he likes to make yeah, I think more than the older one, the 14-year-old definitely likes to make the 2 younger ones scream all the time about everything and nothing. Literally, will sit by them and just like look at them just to make them scream. Like, yeah, that's what it's like.
When I have my nephew for the weekend, I can only imagine how it is with 5 boys.
Yeah. Well, and the oldest was the worst when he still lived with us. He has ADHD, and it does not have like understanding of boundaries and people's bubbles and stuff. So he's like really bad about like putting his hands on them, like messing with them. To him, it's playing, but it's not. And I'm always like, Caleb, like you got to keep your hands to yourself. Like, so it's always been a problem. And so then after he graduated and became an adult, he decided not to take his ADHD medicine for a little while. And so I kept telling him, I'm like, Caleb, it really affects your relationships with people and the way, like, because people, I promise, it gets to the point that people don't want to be around you when it's almost like you're a bully, even though that's not what you're trying, Like, I don't know how to explain it really. But I'm like, well, it affects your, like, personal relationships with people. So you can't Like, anyways, but also it affects his job because he has to like do the ordering and stuff for the stores. And so that's like what made him start taking it again. And so even if he doesn't take it on his days off, he does take it when he has to work because it really, really affects his job. And so, but he had to learn that for himself when he decided he didn't want to take it. And he had to figure out, that he really did need it. I mean, like, I would take him to spend the night with friends when he was younger. And the first question their parents would ask is, does he have his medicine?
Oh.
So, like, that was always a given. Like, because, there's just some kids that when they don't have it, like, they're extra annoying on purpose. It's like they know what they're doing, though. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it. But I feel like it's more of a boy thing with ADHD. Because that's why, because my kids have, 2 of my kids have ADHD. Like, so, like, when I found out, I never would have thought that I had, like, I didn't know the differences, like, between a boy, like, boys having it and girls having it. So when my doctor diagnosed me with having ADHD, I just, like, I never thought that. Never considered it my whole life. Like, just because I can't, like, focus or pay attention, like, I can if I try, like, really hard, and it's something I want to pay attention, like, I can focus if I'm interested, I guess. But I was like, no, well, I don't act like that. I don't make bird calls and weird noises all the time. We have to call bird calls, but it's just like the random, like, screeching noises that they just randomly decide to make for no reason.
Yeah.
But I actually have noticed myself doing random. Yeah, that was my 16-year-old.
Look at Melissa's Melissa's comment. Have a snack of Chinese skincare.
Some Chinese skincare because Koreans have the best skin. Look, I'm gonna have to like turn my camera on at some point to show my shirt that I made. I still have not worn it or shown it or anything, but I have this shirt that I had made, and it's really just like to that point right there, and I can't wait for y'all to see it. I'm gonna have to make a point of it because it's pretty funny. She said I have ADHD, but inattentive type. I guess I feel like I have like when I've looked to understand the differences, I feel like I have like now they're screaming. I feel like I have it sounds like they're fighting. The 4 and 6-year-old are like fighting each other. One of them will become running in here screaming in just a second about one of them killed each other on the game or something random. Anyway, she said, what kind of job does he have? Oh, he works for a beverage. I don't know, what would you call it?
Distributor type?
Yeah, a beverage distributor. He's merchandising, because that's what his title is, merchandiser, because he I guess does that. But he's in charge of 3 stores, like a Walmart and 2 Brookshires. But yeah, he graduated high school and went like straight to work and like basically like a career. And I was just like, holy, I felt a little bit bad. Like, damn, you didn't even have like no time in between, but at the same time, like proud of him so his first real job he had was like at a feed store in like the local feed store. And he worked there for over a year. And then he graduated and turned 18 right after he graduated. So his birthday is like a week after school ends. And so he graduated and then turned 18, and then thankfully his grandpa has worked there for a long time and was able to help him get his foot in the door for the interview, and then he did the rest and got the job.
Yeah. That's definitely a good job to have too.
Yeah, especially like right out of high school, like to like, because a lot of people, and that's the thing, a lot of his friends have like tried to make more money. So they'll like start one job and then leave and go to another job, and like so they've moved around a few times trying to maybe figure out what, I don't know. And he almost did that. He almost went from the one now to a different company or whatever, but the same job. And I think it was over like making a little bit more money or something like that. And I was like, I wouldn't do that. For one thing, like your family work, like his works there. And so, like, yeah, so I'm glad he didn't do that, because also the warehouse is like further, like, so where he has to go now is in Tyler, and which is like maybe 45 minutes an hour from us. And then where he would have to go like somewhere else would be like probably like I think it was in like Irving or I don't know. It was like a way longer drive if he had to go in for like anything, like classes. You know, they have to do little things or whatever, meetings and type shit. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't looked at any of the comments. I guess I should do that. Oh yeah, I feel like I have the mixed because I was gonna say a while ago when I was talking about I don't do the noises. I've noticed myself do shit like that though. Like before I'll take my medicine sometimes I'll wake up and like or like before I take it or it really and I'll notice myself doing really annoying shit and I'll be like, oh, I do that. I mean I don't do it all the time and not like to the point that my kids like 'cause I don't know I feel like it's totally different when they're boys especially when they're younger. I don't know because my oldest one I feel like it got worse as he got older as far as like messing with people or I don't know. I always say not keeping his hands to himself. He always wants to like put you in a chokehold and do all this boy types, you know. And I'm just like, hey, like your girlfriend doesn't want to be in a choke, or you know, it's just like just an example. But you know, she said I was like, she said China not interchangeable. Why does my comment about Dr. Barkley get you moved? I didn't see it. Maybe it
I
didn't.
didn't.
I wasn't looking in. I was looking on StreamYard, not in here.
I
Oh,
haven't seen any comments get removed.
I was thinking it didn't. Probably.
Why does my comment?
I feel like mine's not. Oh, it's not showing the live messages. I was just gonna see if maybe it was one that needed to be approved. You know, like sometimes it, but because on StreamYard, I don't think it shows those. And so I was looking at it on my phone, and I didn't see one that I missed or anything. I didn't see it.
How long ago was your comment, Mia? I don't see it either. And I haven't seen anything get removed.
I wonder if something, if it, I don't know. I was gonna say maybe if it had like a link or something, if maybe it would have like held it or something. I don't know because I don't know how this works exactly. Because this isn't like I can't believe I've been on here for 3.5 hours. I really need to get off. That was not my intention at all. This was going to be a little story, and then yeah, it's easy to get like onto all the other stuff because there's so much to all of it, and especially like I don't know. I feel like me talking about just I don't know my part and everything that happened, and it's easy for me to like. It's easy for me to like you know. I just realized how stupid it all was. And I
Yeah.
to go off on that, and then like I just know it was so stupid. It was really embarrassing. All those things. Anyways, I guess I'm gonna get off, but I really do want to like schedule a time to do. I really want to explain a few of like the like terms and stuff that I feel like people don't understand, like the ghost situation. I feel like I
Yeah,
want
and definitely when you find out any update on your brother-in-law, I do an update on that too.
yeah, because it's like for one thing, I'm like curious to see what all they. I really feel like they're probably gonna try to charge him with every single little thing they can, because he made them really mad that night. Which I mean, obviously, because first he didn't tell them who he was, and then um, I don't know it. I don't know if he swung, hit, put. I don't know. And also, I feel like I've been told so many different things from the person that was there. It's changed a few times, and so then that gets confusing. And I don't know if it's because it was so much excitement of when it happened, you know, and then obviously things get lost in communication. Also, like so, it's just been
Yeah.
kind of confusing. And then the website has been down. I like even when it's up, like I haven't it hasn't pulled his name up yet at all, and he's never been there, so it doesn't even show anything for him. So yeah, I guess I will do that. I just am making it a point to not like put a lot of energy into all this crazy like that text messaging and then trying to come up and it's just not worth it for me. So
Yeah.
don't wanna. She said she posted it twice, but it could be YouTube. I feel like it maybe if it was like I don't know. I feel like I almost feel like maybe it was like an auto like filter type thing. because I didn't see it at all, and I don't see anything that was removed because it says it in like on my phone, but not on StreamYard, but on like YouTube. I don't see it.
Now I'm curious what
Anyway,
the comment is.
well, she said it was about a doctor or something. Oh, she said check him out. Oh man, I guess
I'm
I'm gonna
gonna
have to watch
screenshot that.
because that one person gave me her email address and told me to email her, but it was towards the beginning and I didn't write it down like I meant to. So I'll have to. Sometimes the replay doesn't show up and I can't figure out how to make it like do that. I think the last one I did it didn't show. And I tried everything. Like I went in and I unclicked it and clicked it back just so that it would like, and it still I don't think it did. So.
Don't you have to like save it with?
I mean, I
don't
did.
know.
That's what I'm saying. So I tried to undo it and then redo it, and it still didn't show it. But she said Dr. Barkley, a renowned researcher.
I screenshotted it to remember to look into it.
All right. Well, we're gonna go, but thank y'all for like being here with us to talk and
This was fun.
and just talk about people a little bit and ignore them
Yeah.
a little bit too. That was just funny to me. I'm just saying because there was like three different people during this live that decided to make their presence known. So
Uninvited.
yeah, seriously. All right. Well, good night, y'all.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.